Israelites coming week in and week out to prophesy the downfall and destruction of this wicked kingdom, known as spiritual Babylon, daughter of Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, which I would say is America. First and foremost, Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushai,
Barakatah Yahushai,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushai,
Barakatah Yahushai,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahushai.
Barakatah Yahushai,
All praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to Apostles Nillis at Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations to all sincere Akim, during afflictions, making their call and election sure. Alright? Because, hey man, this is a time when ultimately, hey, if you're not of that number, alright, that was prophesied in the book, then you have another number, you know? We don't know who we are, you know? We're the hopeful elect, you know? We want to make sure that we're doing our job, you know? Whatever it is, we want to just try to be on the right side of prophecies, man. Right? Because there's prophecy, all right? 2/3 of our people are going to get hit, all right? The nations are going to get hit. Ultimately, Esau's system is going to be thrown down, all right? If you join hand in hand with the wicked, then hey, that's not a good look, you know? Yahweh Shemashai, he looking at you like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Days are numbered out here, man. If you want to seek to save your life, all right, like particular people, like, you know, Nick Cannon, all right, the NFAC movement, the dude, he went from being a militia, you know, with the guns he stole mountains, you know what I'm saying, to all lives matter.
Yeah, that's wild, that was real quick too, man.
That was a plot twist, man.
That was quick, you know.
Yep. So, hey, this is time, man. It's a high time, you know. We're telling our people, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, all right, who stem from the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that, hey, man, you need to repent before it's too late. Yep. Ain't nothing for us on this side, man. You know?
Yeah, I got a precept what you were saying about when you kicked it off, us basically not knowing who we are, but you know, us wanting to be on that right hand side because we know what's coming to those who are gonna be on the left hand side of judgment, you know. But no one knows, you know, but you know, either side, you know, I mean, if you want to be on that right side, you better make sure you're doing the right thing, you know. But this is a part of it right here. This is Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 12. It says, turn you to the stronghold, yea, prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee.
That's right. We prisoners of hope, man. That righteous act.
Oh yeah, justified, yo.
You know, because ultimately, we prisoners of hope out here. I mean, that's all we have, man. You know, all we have is hope. You know, we looking around. I mean, there's nothing to look for on this side, man.
Right.
You know, what is there to look for, man? Get a promotion at a job during the middle of a pandemic. You know, who we have running this place, man? You know, we got a clown running the system right now, man. You know, you so divided against yourself. What kind of system you want to build on this side, man? You want to cast your vote for any of them clowns? You know, I mean, scriptures are pretty clear on how to move, man, and what to be seeking. You know, we seeking the kingdom, man.
Yep.
We are not. Yeah, yet this there in our captivity. Speaking to the Israelites, this is not our kingdom, man. Prisoners of hope, man. You know, Hebrews 11 tells us, all right, what faith is. Faith is hope of the things not seen, evidence of things not seen, man. You know, Revelation 13, you know, it tells us the faith and patience of the saints is that these Edomites are going to be put right back into where they need to be put, man. They need to put in chains, man. Starting from the elite Baker family, man. And it takes faith, man. It takes a high level of hope to see that, man. Not everyone's going to be able to see that. They're going to look and like, that sounds good, but I mean, that's just impossible. Like, how the hell is a Rothschild going to be put in captivity?
How is Satan cast down from heaven?
Woo!
You know, that's the true breakdown on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the show power of our power, man. That's how it happens, man. It's a wonderful work. One of the wonderful works that, Lord willing, we be able to see, man.
Yep. It's Judges chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers and the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, go down to the gates.
You know, it's about rehearsing righteous acts, man. You know, like, you know, you got, rehearsals and stuff like that in the world. You know, you want to rehearse so that way, in that time, all right, when it's time to put on, you know, scriptures say to put on as the elect.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Because ultimately, this is what it is, man. All right, we don't know if we're those men, you know, but we're putting on as those men. You know, if we were those men who were chosen from the foundation of the earth, all right, those men would be doing what we're doing. You know, signing the crime, prophesying the downfall, destruction of this wicked kingdom. Jeremiah 28 and 8. You know, the prophets are going to be talking about particular things, man.
Yep.
You know, this is how you know, it's the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Yep.
You know, but we don't know who we are. Lord willing, we endure to the end, like those men who will be prophesied to do, man.
Yep. This Colossians chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another. And if any man have a quarrel against any, even as Hamashiach Yahushua forgave you, so also do ye.
That's right. You can get that in 1 Peter, 2 Peter 1.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, hey, man, this is how you put on as the elect, man. You know? You put on those garments, man. You know? As the elect. You know? The elect are going to be moving a certain way. The elect are going to be seeing things a certain way, man. You know? If you meditate on it long enough, then it'll just be, you know what I'm saying, plain to the holy. You know? If certain men were created from the foundation of the earth to be a certain way, you know, if the elect, all right, that's the Elohim who created the heavens and the earth, you know, you're looking at people like, hey, man, you might have created these people, you know, and that's if you can receive it. But if that's the case, then you're going to be thinking a certain way. You're going to be moving a certain way. You're not going to be out here just holding grudges. If, you know, you might have created this spirit. You know what I'm saying? So why would you have hate for that, man? If you created it, you know?
That's a great point.
And that's, you know, speaking to the elect, you know?
Yep. This can I start it now? I'll just back up what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
This 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 9. But he that lacketh these things is blind, and cannot see afar off, and have forgotten that he was purged from his old sins.
That's right. You know, because we have no form of remembrance. You know, the men who are here today, all right. I mean, there's gonna be men who's gonna wake up in that 11th hour who are powerful men, man. Created from the foundation that probably did some powerful works. You know, cast out devils. You know what I'm saying? But you know, literally, you know, men like Ezekiel, Obadiah, prophets who haven't been known. You know, who might not even have a book. You know, those men could be out here being a full-fledged nigga. You know, and if they not now, you know, which you know they are, it's probably. Those chances are there's still a couple. You know what I'm saying? The elect ain't sealed.
Right.
You know, it's right there though. You know what I'm saying? But the whole point is that, you know, those men were just ignorant, man. Those men were just walking around doing particular things, man. You know, speaking for the brother here. You know, we were just two guys in the world, man, doing whatever, man. You know, committing sin, man. Eating abominable foods, celebrating holidays, man. You know, we're, man, adulterous nation, man. But the whole thing is about repenting.
And then just to add a quick point on what you were saying, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he can wake up Job in the last minute, man. You don't know what Yahweh Shem Yahushua doing out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But my thoughts are not your thoughts. You know?
That's right.
This verse 10 is back in 2 Peter. I'll just read 9 again. This back in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 9. It says, but he that lacketh these things is blind, and cannot see afar off, and have forgotten that he was purged from his old sins. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall.
See? So this is, hey man, I mean, if you can start, we can probably start more higher.
I was thinking it.
Just to hit this point, because brothers bring this scripture, giving due diligence to make your calling and election sure. It ain't about just what we're doing, you know, doing the work, you know, which that's a big part of it, but it goes further, man. You know, it goes further, and this is according to the scripture. You know?
Jumping up in this chapter, this is
you know, because it goes into basically how do you make your corn election sure? How do you give due diligence, man? If you, according to this chapter, we just read this verse. If you go up, it's going to tell you how you give your due diligence, man. We're going to see if it's talking about doing the work.
Good, man. This 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. Simon Peter, a servant and an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, to them that have obtained like precious faith with us through the righteousness of Yahweh and our Savior Yahushua Mashiach. You know, it's like just to add a quick point on this. This is how we obtain righteousness, through Yahweh and Yahushua Mashiach, not through works. You know, not through works. What's the works that we can say that we're justified by? You know, well, doing the work. That's it. What else? What other works? Well, keeping the law to the best of your abilities, rehearsing the righteous acts like you was going into. But we say, but in Romans the 3rd chapter, it tell you about the deeds of the law. No flesh shall be saved. You know,
that's playing Mission Impossible, man. You know, because we all have sin, man. We all fell short, man. You know. I mean, we're not justified by that. That's what we're saying, man. You ain't justified just by doing these carnal things, man.
Right, For this is, if a man have done all that he was supposed to do, say, I have done that which is my duty to do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This is your duty, you know?
Yep. And what's the duty, man? Fear the Most High, keep His commandments.
Yep, that's it.
That's the duty.
Yep. That's your obligation. You're obligated to do that. Because when you go into the word duty, one of the synonyms for it is obligation. So you're obligated. You have a responsibility to do the will of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. You know, that's not an option. That's not optional. You know,
right? Like, yeah, I'm gonna opt out. The contract was signed. You can't opt out.
Yeah, that's it. It says, verse 2: Grace and peace be multiplied unto you through the knowledge of our power and of Yahweh Shai our Lord, according as His divine power have given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of Him that has called us to glory and virtue. It says, whereby are given unto us exceeding and precious promises, that by these ye may be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust.
See that? Divine nature. You know, and just to add, you know, I love, you know, making the point that this is speaking to the Israelites, man. You know, this is exclusive. When it says us, all right, we, all right, this is talking about the Israelites, man. You know, ultimately the Bayaf Dawadah, the elect. You know?
It says, verse 5, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to your virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that they shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
See? All that's doing your due diligence. That's the process this takes, man. That's that divine nature, man. This right here. Read that part one more time.
Verse 5?
Yeah.
Yep. Reading back up in verse 5, it says, and beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to your virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that they shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
Now you gotta really see. You know, so that's the process, man. It starts with that diligence, and it's saying, you know, that's gonna bring you to faith, man. You know, then it says, then virtue, then knowledge. So if you can't get one before the other, you can't just have knowledge without the virtue. If you're doing that, then you don't have that divine nature, man. Niggas in the world got knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? Do they got virtue though?
Exactly.
You know?
You just made me think of something I was thinking about yesterday, because you know it's not all about knowledge. You know, if it was all about knowledge, if that's the case, you got people in the world that's knowledgeable. You got people who have knowledge of the truth but are not in the truth. You know, so it's obviously not all about knowledge. You know, you got people who are knowledgeable about, you know, things of the knowledge, but they're not in the truth. You know, because why? Because it's more to just having knowledge. Like you have to have the knowledge of that divine nature, like he was touching on, man. You know, you have to have knowledge on how to move as a divine being. You know, be moving as our Lord Yahushua Mashiach was moving. You know, that's the knowledge you have to have. You have to have the knowledge of, okay, am I moving according to how my Lord Yahushua Mashiach would be moving? You know, not just knowledge on, you know, oh, okay, I can break down this script and I can break down that script, man. It's more than that. You got to be walking according to how our Lord was walking, man. You know, which our Lord, he was the most knowledgeable man to walk earth. Was he throwing his knowledge all in people's face, man? He wasn't doing that, man. Yahushua, he was making it plain upon tables, man. So like one more point, St. John 14, it tell you, Yahushua even said it. He that believeth on me, the works that I should do, he should do greater. He should do and even greater than me. You know what I'm saying? So Yahushua was all about you excelling. You know, excelling in knowledge, man. You know, being as he was. You know.
Charity, man, that's where roads lead to, you know. Lead to it, you know. But that's how you get the due diligence, make it on let you sure. Once you get that point, then hey, you could be in that conversation, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like then in the basketball world, oh yeah, he's in the MVP conversation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yep. All right, he could be in the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Is he making his team better?
Right.
Yeah, you know he's the devil.
Jesus?
Yep.
I'm a cynical preacher's kid. I'm like, fuck them all.
Hey, so even the devil knows he's the devil.
Yeah, the devils believe.
Because you was touching on, it was one more verse in that Colossians. You had something else out? Just you had touched about charity. Like all roads leading back down to charity. This back in Colossians, I'm just reading 12, 13 again. This back in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. And another quick point I just thought of too, Zechariah 9 and 9. It says, rejoice Jerusalem, because your king cometh to you lowly and meek. You know? So Yahushua was all about meekness, humbleness of mind, you know? Long suffering, you know? Which that's what the house of David would exhibit, you know? It says, verse 13, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. And if any man have a quarrel against any, even as the Mashiach forgave you, also do ye. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness.
Right. Bond of perfectness, man. You know? So if you want to come in that body of Yahushua, then you gotta have that element, man. The element of charity, which is that bond. That's what connects you to the body, man.
Yep.
You can't be connected to the body without charity.
Yep.
This is according to scriptures.
Nah.
You know?
They said that's that bond of perfectness.
Bond of perfect.
So you can have all these other components, you know, but it's not that glue. That charity, that's like that glue. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you know, a lot of brothers don't want to hear about that, man. You know, it's shoot 'em up, bang bang. You know, shoot 'em up, bang bang, man. You know, which we know all these heathen, they gonna die. If you're a so-called white person, you're gonna die. If you're a so-called Chinese person, you're gonna die. Ain't no hope for you, man. If you're a 2/3, you're gonna die. You know, we already know that, man. You know, which we come out here to prophesize against the nations, man. All right, but we don't want to be of those who die. You know? So how do we not be of those who doubt? We gotta be carrying ourselves a certain type of way, man. You know? We're supposed to be preachers to those who trying to escape death. You know?
Right. Yep.
Of course, we tell people you're gonna die, you know, but we come out here to preach repentance for the gospel, for the kingdom of heaven, man, you know, because we're trying to get to the kingdom of heaven, you know, we're trying to taste not of death, you know. You got a precept up? Okay, slide. I got you, bro. I got you. I just got to quick. Which one?
Not Matthew 14.
I got you. O'Connor, that's good. Yep. It's Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17. This is a point too, you know, about how you were saying, all roads leading back to charity. You know, all roads lead back to us being certain type of men. This is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
Brothers born for adversity, man. We approaching a time that, you know, it's gonna be a highly adverse time. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be
The time of Jacob's trouble.
Jacob's trouble, man. That great tribulation, man. You know, so it's gonna be a time where, hey, man, you know, how should I prophesy about brothers betraying brothers, man? You know why? Because they ain't got that charity in them, man. You know,
That's heavy, huh?
they ain't had that bond of perfectness, man.
That's a heavy point, huh? That's a heavy point. That's why you would betray somebody. Why? Because you ain't got true charity within you, man. You know, you ain't got that true brotherly kindness, man. You ain't got that true humbleness in mind, man. You ain't got that true factor to what keeps you to endure through, tribulation and adversity, man. You know, which is charity, man. Greater love have no man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends.
Right.
You know?
Yep. Hey, man. It's gonna take a lot, man. It's gonna take a lot. Right. You know, when it comes to like after receiving the knowledge, man. I mean, we were defiled already. You know, by the knowledge of this place. We understand the pleasure of this world, man. You know, so it takes a strong. I hear me recently about it takes a lot for you to be able to overcome and truly repent. You know.
Yep.
And then once you get that on, you know what I'm saying? You learn the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You know how to keep the laws. You know precepts and breakdowns.
Right.
All right. And then like that charity. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be long suffering. Like, all right. You know what I'm saying? You were once this person. You can't be out here looking at someone and just condemning them already. You know what I'm saying? You must not know how merciful the Most High is. You know how he's gonna judge. You know, according to who he judges, man. He has mercy on who he has mercy on, man. But if you want to be part of that Allah Hayim, you know what I'm saying? Which it was already written, but if you want to put on as those guys, you know, gotta be something real.
What it tell you, Romans 9, what if Yahweh now shine during with much long suffering, the vessels fitting for destruction? 2 Peter the 3rd chapter tell you that, but the Lord is long suffering, not willing that any of us should perish. Which we know that any is talking about of the nation of Israel, which ultimately is going into the elect. You know?
Matthew 5 in the last verse, 47, it says to be perfect as the Most High is perfect, man. If the Most High is like this, then you want to put on, man. Put on as the elect, man.
That's that divine nature.
Divine nature, yeah.
No, we can look it up too, huh? This is spiritual said that. I want to go into that. I got that Matthew 4:17. It's Matthew chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, for that time Yahushua began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Come on, man. When he began to preach, this is what he's preaching. He's preaching repentance.
Right.
This is Yahushua speaking, man. Red letter, man. He wrote this in blood, man. He died for this right here, man. So we can repent. You know? So if you're out here just trying to, you know, take that away, like, you know what? Now you want to know about this truth? Nah, bro. You wasn't listening when I wanted to tell you. Now, nah. Fuck that.
That's not charity. That's being selfish, man. That's selfishness, man. You know, that's you think about yourself. Oh, you didn't do it when I wanted you to do it, so no, F you. You know? That's not charity, man. You know? Let's read that one more time, huh? This Matthew chapter 4, verse 17. It says, from that time Yahushua began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. No.
kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. And it's truly, I mean, hey, man, the salvation is nearer than we believe, man.
Yep.
You know? So we want to really preach repentance. Coming in that body of Yahweh Shai, man. We're gonna be preaching what Yahweh Shai was preaching, man. Repentance, man.
Yeah.
To all people, man. He came to save his people. All right? That's the Israelites, man. So
That's the Israel. Regardless if you like it or not. You know? And I was reading the scripture, it may have been this morning or last night. It says, it basically going into, don't, let me see if I can find it real quick. I think it's in Sirach 4. And this is where I wanted to go to Sirach 4 to make a point on what you were saying. Yeah. Let's see if I can go with it. It's, bear with me, brothers. Oh yeah, here you go right here. Call Allah, yeah, that's myself. This Sirach chapter 4 and verse 5. It says, let it not grieve thee to bow down thine ear to the poor and give him a friendly answer with meekness. You know? So, you know, regardless of who it is amongst our nation, like, you look at it, Jake, like, man, this nigga's through, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, man, I ain't got no time to be talking to no nigga like this, man. It said, let it not grieve thee to bow down their ear to the poor, which our nation, we are the poor. You know? We are the poor. You know? It says, and give him a friendly answer with meekness. Why? Because that's what the elect will do. You know? That's what the elect will do, man. You know? You ain't just gonna be looking at nobody shunning them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he's still a part of the nation of Israel, man. You know?
Yep. Point, man.
Oh, this
First Samuel, the account of David, where it was like, Lord, you don't look like I was thinking.
yep.
That's not the most high sees people, man. You know? He sees spirits. You know? So if you can see someone in spirit, I mean, yeah, you can condemn somebody. But can we do that right now? You know what I'm saying? The heart is deceitful above all things. You can be like, you know, oh yeah, you know, nah, man. You want to have long suffering because your heart can deceive you, man, thinking that, oh yeah, this guy's a demon. You know what I'm saying? You can think another person's the elect. You know? The heart is deceitful, man. Matthew 13 tells you to let both, you know, the wheat and tares grow together, which you know that's what we're talking about. Both of you yeah. You don't know who anybody is, right? You don't know who an Edomite is, man. We don't know who a Jake is.
Bro, you don't even know who you are.
You don't even know who you are.
Right.
How much more a 2/3, 1/3, you know what I'm saying?
God.
The elect, we all just rehearsing righteous acts, man. That's all. That's all we can do, man. Chris is a hope.
Took words. Oh God. No, you good. No, you good, brother. You took words of it. This I'm gonna get that in 1 Samuel 16. This 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. But the Lord Yahweh Shai said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord Yahweh Shai seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord, Yahweh Shai, looketh on the heart.
That's how it always has been, man. That's how the Most High does things, man. You know? Like Karak made a point the other day where it was like, you know, he's using men who you probably wouldn't even think, all right? He's speaking through these men like us, man. You know? You would think he would come out and just do some type of, you know, spectacle or something, you know, some real marvelous work.
Right.
When he's telling you something.
Right.
Nah, man, this is how this thing works, man.
He made us the spectacle.
That's right. The angels to the world, man.
Yep, done.
You know?
Yep.
That's how, I mean, King David, man, the young lad. No one was looking at him like he's the guy who's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Slay Goliath, man. But hey, that's how this thing works.
Done,
You know?
Yep. And then slap your another point on that precept. It said just to allude, you know, going back to what you said a little bit, just to add an extra point on it, like how you said, basically, we can't see spirits. You know what I'm saying? We can discern spirits, but we can't put we can't see like the Most High see, basically. You know, like the Most High see what their spirit is automatically. We can just discern, okay, this spirit is not right. You know what I'm saying?
Romans 8, or it says the law is spiritual.
Oh, God, yeah, I think that's Romans 8, or is it Galatians 5? It may be Romans 8.
Yeah, I mean, I could quote it, but you know, we like to get the script.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
most
saying?
definitely. Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, how we discern spirits, we're going to go into it.
And that's a spiritual gift too, which it speak about in 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, about how different men was given different gifts.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody wasn't given the gift of discernment, man. You know?
Yep.
Just because you're a man of the Lord don't mean that you got the gift of discernment. Different parts of the body got different gifts. You know, so that's not even everybody's gift, even within that. You know?
This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 14. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin." So we just in this flesh, man. You know, but if we able to discern spirits, how we do that? By this right here, through these scriptures. You know, we filter in our wicked, vain opinions, right? Through these scriptures. That's how we can discern the spirits, man. You know?
My fault. You're making some great points, because that made me think about something I was thinking about yesterday too. Like, Yahweh Shema outside and be like, okay, you're a man of the Lord, now make your own game plan. You know what I'm saying? He already set the game plan up. That's just like, you know, you on the field, and you like, you know, like quarterbacks or quarterbacks, the coach send a play in, he like, no, I don't like that play. No, we ain't running that. You know, you can't do that when you're Yahweh Shema outside, man. You know, you gotta run his play, man. You know, he ain't just put you on the field and then you be like, okay, if you don't like that look, you can change it. No, I don't care if you don't like the look or not. You gonna run it. You know, you gonna run that play. You know, Yahweh Shema outside just be like, okay, you're a man of the Lord now. Now you make the decisions. You know what I'm saying? He still making decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
You're just being used by him. You know? That's all it is.
Yep. That's what you say. You don't know who we are, man. You know? Criminals of hope, man.
This, we got some up. It's, Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Yep. You know, the last days it's going to be false prophets, man. You know? But in this here, it's talking about pastors according to what the Most High wants, man. This is a true prophet, man.
Right.
Not a false prophet, but this is how you become a true prophet.
Right.
You're doing things according to the word, man.
Yep.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 11. It says, "Now all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come." Yeah. This thing ain't no mere storybook, man. This ain't no just read the account. You know what I'm saying? The King David saying the life. Like, man, that was cool.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Go about your day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. You want to really meditate on these accounts, man.
Yeah.
You know, with you know, I mean, even with Paul, man. You know, with Saul of Tarsus, man. The type of dude that he was, man. And the fact that he was able to be a powerful apostle, man.
Yep.
You know, powerful apostle. He wrote most of the New Testament, man. He was killing prophets. He was killing men of the Lord, man. You know, a lot of brothers, man. If they was in the position of Stephen, Shalot, hurry out. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing it, get
You know
you know what I'm saying? You killing the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Even disciples, they was looking at Paul. They was scared, man. They looking like, nah, man, I don't know about this guy. You know what I'm saying? But they had to hear stories like, you know what? Nah, he was really preaching the Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? It's according to the scriptures. You know, that's how they was able to discern and be like, you know what? Let's go ahead and rock with it. You know what I'm saying? They was doing this based off of their opinion.
Right.
They was using, you know what I'm saying? Verse the righteous life.
Because he was coming in the spirit of Yahweh Shah Mashah. That's how they knew that Apostle Paul was on point. Because Yahweh Shah Mashah was dealing directly with Apostle Paul, man.
Yeah.
You know, and they walked with Yahweh Shah Mashah. So they was like, okay, yeah, that's the spirit of Yahweh Shah Mashah, man. You know? And it all goes back to that charity, man, and that divine nature.
Yeah.
You know? Which is that divine nature. Can you look that up real quick? Just okay, come. No, sorry,
This one.
Oh, okay. I kind of okay.
Type in Divine Nature.
Yeah, just see.
Divine Nature. What's in it? Definition.
Yeah, just type it.
Divine nature definition. It says the quality of being divine. Divine nature, deity, godhood, divine being, God, the divinity, sometimes lowercase the deity, a being having divine attributes, ranking below God but above humans.
Woo!
Yeah.
You know, ranking below God, gayer God, with a lowercase
Yeah,
g.
lowercase, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what makes you a God. Because Jake love to say I'm a God. Well, what makes you a God, man? You know, just because you could, you know, you could go do a crossover like Kyrie. You know, just because you could talk a female on her panties, they make you a God, man. You know, just because you know, somebody might pull a strap on you and, you know, you can talk them out from putting the gun down, they make you a God, man. You know, that's not what make you a God, man. You know, it's the attributes that you exhibit, man. You know, that's divinity, which we was going into some of those attributes in 2 Peter the 1st chapter, and in Colossians the 3rd chapter, man. You know, which ultimately all goes back to charity, man.
Right.
What's going on, brother?
Yep. Right, brother.
You got something else?
Yeah, I had that. This is St. Matthew 18:1. It says, at the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. I mean, that's just powerful, man. We're talking about who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, man. He brought a little child, you know? That he goes into it. It says,
It's like and this what shows you too. This is proof that it's not all about knowledge. Because why would Yahushua Mashiach bring a child in the mix, man? You know, how high level is a child on knowledge, man? Because when you go into simple-minded, the brother Simon put me on this. When you go into the word simple-minded, in Strong's definition, it goes into childish, man. You know, so a child is simple-minded, man. You know. You know, so it ain't like a child on such a high level.
Right.
You know.
Yep. Verse 3. It said, Yahushua speaking, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
It said accept. Can we look at that word accept up? You look up that ruler?
Yeah, I've been looking.
Okay, nah. So it said accept, man. Except you humble yourself as a little child, you shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, man. So that means you're not getting in there, man. You know? You're not getting in the kingdom of heaven unless you humble yourself as a little child, man. You know? If you don't do that, you're not getting in the kingdom of heaven. What it say, if any man thinketh himself to be wise, let him become a fool first, then he may be wise, man. You know? You got whosoever shall be abased shall be exalted. Just rough paraphrasing, man. You know?
Yep.
Matthew 23:12. You know?
That word accept, it's Strong's G 1437. Same word is used for if, whosoever, whatsoever, though, except.
Yeah, con. So if you want to get to the kingdom of heaven, you know, you gotta you read that precept one more time?
Con. Matthew 18, verse 3, it says, verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted.
So unless, if, except, whatsoever, You know, that's the only way, unless you be converted as what, you know.
Yep. And become as little children.
And become as little children, man. Because that was what Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 13 chapter, which Lord willing we can touch on that too, about charity. He said, when I was a child, I understood as a child. But I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things, man. All right. And an example of those childish things Apostle Paul was talking about was when he was persecuting the church, man. You know, when he was thinking that it was all about the zeal in the law. You know, when he was thinking it was all about how his knowledge, you know, and the excellency that he had as a man of the Lord, man. That's childish, man. You know. You got to put away all that thing because it's not about your attributes. It's about the Lord's attributes, man, that He's given unto you. You know, to be able to do the things that you do. You know.
It says, "Except ye be converted and become as little children."
Except, so if it's the only way you got to be converted and become as a little child. You know.
It says, "Ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven."
You're not gonna enter into the kingdom of heaven, man. That's the only way, man. You got to become as a little child, man. You know, that's it, man.
I want to get a little more before I do that. Okay. This is in 1 Peter chapter 2. And this is verse 2. This is the point. As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. You know, so that children, man. Children is able to grow, man. You know, a children is going to be able to be converted, man. If you're a grown man, you know, in the sense where it's like you're not growing no more. That's it. You know, that's why Yahushua call that little child, because he's able to grow, man, to improve, man, to repent. You know, if you're not, it goes into it. I think I already read that part. Not it.
You know what I'm saying? So like you, what you about to say something? Like,
nah, you good.
I just want you to read that precept one time.
This is 1 Peter 2 and 2. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word.
Of the word. Desire the sincere milk of the word. Now, what does this mean? Revelations 13 and 10, Isaiah 14 and 21, you know, Genesis 25 and 21. No, okay, that's part of it, but that's not what it's talking about, man. The sincere the milk of the word is how you're supposed to be carrying yourself. Simple stuff like humbleness of mind, meekness, you know, being a base, you know, like being lowly, you know, that's the sincere milk of the word, man. Those things that you should, you know, those are things that you should understand easily, man. You know, you shouldn't have to. Oh, go ahead.
It's like, just to add, like those traits right there is going to help you grow. Like milk, you know.
Because we read it. Because we read it in 2 Peter 1. It said, "These things be in you, you should never be barren in your knowledge or unfruitful in Yahushua Mashiach," man. You know, which we went into. It was talking about faith, virtue, knowledge, you know, diligence, temperance, man. You know, which all those things tie in with humbleness, meekness, forbearance, long suffering. You know, all those things go hand in hand. You know.
Back in St. Matthew 18, in verse 3, it says, "Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven."
That's over with. You know what I'm saying? That's over with. Unless you, except you be converted and become as little children, you're not getting in the kingdom of heaven, man. You know? And the kingdom of heaven is within us, man. You know? So ultimately, it's a lot of people who think they're in the truth. They're not in the truth, man. You know? Why? Because you haven't become as little children. You know? And that's a level of pride, man. You know, that's a high level of pride, man. You know? When you just think you got something already, man. You know? Ain't none of us got nothing, man. You know? We didn't even get this knowledge on our own.
Right.
You know?
Yep. Verse 4. "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven."
Yeah, that's gonna be many that are first should be last and the last should be first, man. You know, who you wouldn't expect, man. Like you was touching on. Even King David, man. King David had what, 6, 7 other brothers, man. You know, and they was going through all the brothers, you know, and then we got this other little brother, he feed the sheep, you know, he's a nobody. But no, Yahweh Shemel Shah said, that's who I chose, you know. So it's always who you wouldn't expect, man, you know. That's how it's always been, man, you know. So that should always put brothers in check too. You want to be a part of the house of David? Well, look at King David, man. King David wasn't expected to be chosen, man, you know. Even you still got people to this day that talk about what King David did with adultery, man. They feel like King David should still, he wasn't a man of the Lord just based upon that alone, you know.
Last time we was out here, we was talking to that Jay. We brought out how, you know, he's Muslim. He you know what I'm saying? We brought out, you know, Muhammad was a pedophile. They want to, you know what I'm saying? Jump to, oh yeah, well, David did this. Like, bro.
Right, that's a comparison to the wickedness of Muhammad.
Like that's a comparison, right?
That's wild, man.
But even if the whole concept is being converted, man, being repentant, man.
Great point.
The tender mercies of David, man.
Vows of mercies. That's beautiful.
Yeah, just to get it.
Okay.
Verse 5. And whoso shall receive one such child, a little child, and my name receiveth me.
Woo! That made me think about Matthew 25. Matter of fact, can you hold that and go to Matthew 25 real quick for me? Let me see what's
Went easy, right?
Salakia, brothers. Salakia. Yeah, that's it. Oh, it was Matthew 25.
That's right.
It's a lot. I just can't remember exactly where it was at.
St. Matthew 25 and 34. 33.
Man, just go on to the part we were talking about, man. What it was, 30, was it 32 or 35? No, I'm saying we was looking up for you. We might put this story here. Because I kind of want to get that for
Right.
Yeah.
St. Matthew 25 and 31 says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations. And
Salakia, I just thought about something too. So Yahweh Shah Mashiach ain't even sat on the throne of his glory fully yet, man. So what the hell make you think you gonna sit on your throne? Yahweh Shah Mashiach ain't even did it yet, man. You out your damn mind, man.
it says, before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as the shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
So it said Yahweh Shah gonna do the separating, man. Yahweh Shah doing the separating of the goats and the sheep, man. Alright? It didn't say nothing about you doing no dividing of the sheep and the goats, man. And then it said when he come with the host of heaven too, man. So you can't even spin it and be like, okay, well, we are the body of Yahweh Shah. You know? Well, what did he just say in verse 31?
Yeah, ain't no way around that.
Yeah, God.
Verse 33, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
Yeah, so Yahweh Shah Mashiach gonna decide who's the goats and who's the sheep, man. That's not our decision making, man. That's not up to us, man. You know?
Come. Verse 34. Then shall the king say,
Mr. Lockie, you could be like, okay, we are the gatekeepers, but Yahweh Mashiach said he owed the key to David, man. And I am the door. You know? So we might be standing at the door, guarding the door, you know what I'm saying? But that don't mean we got the key to the door, you know? That don't mean that don't mean that we determine who get in or not. Because at the end of the day, you can have guardsmen, but if the king be like, okay, let him in, the guardsman could be like, no, we ain't letting this guy in. But if the king comes and say, let him in, you gonna let him in, you know?
Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed the Slakin. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Verse 35. For I was hungry, and ye gave me meat.
So this is going into the men who are going to enter into the kingdom of heaven. You know, what did they do? Yahweh Mashiach was hungry, and they gave him meat. You know,
I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink.
I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. So this what the men of who are going to enter into the kingdom of heaven did. You know, and would be doing. You know.
I was a stranger, and ye took me in.
I was a stranger, and ye took. I was a stranger. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Which another word for Gentile is strangers. You know, you can actually be a Gentile and be a stranger.
Right.
You know, so you can have a change of face come up. You know what I'm saying? And then you'd be like, man, you a fucking Edomite. You know, but really he was an Israelite. You know, that's why you gotta be careful with that too, man. Because you can have a stranger that can literally be an Israelite, man. And you don't know, man. I mean, because at the end of the day, we could be like, Justin Timberlake, that's a Jake. But he could be an Edomite. Like, at the end of the day, we say Tom Cruise, we believe he's an Edomite. But he could really be a Jake. You really don't know. Why? Because Yahweh Mashiach, he going to divide the sheep and the goats, man. You're not doing that. So that's why, you know, you got a stranger, you know, hey, if they taking heed to you, hey man, you gotta, you know, cater to them a little bit, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Why? Because that could be Yahweh Mashiach, you know?
Yep. One of those little children.
One of those little children, yo.
Because the heathen, you know, the name is despised among the heathen, so, you know, according to the scriptures, you know, which we filter out, right, you know, we discern the spirits by the scriptures, just based off of that, then, you know what I'm saying, you would have to be like, all right, that might really, in fact, be a Jake, you know what I'm saying?
Yup.
Use more on that?
Yeah, go a little bit.
Back in St. Matthew 25 and 35, it says, For I was a hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me.
Naked and clothed me, which, what is this talking about how Esau talk about naked? You know, like you walk around literally naked. But
Gymnos.
the height of Greek fashion, you know what I'm saying? Being butt booty naked out here, man. That's not what it's talking about, man. You know, naked. Well, Karafi did a lesson on that a while back. You know that nakedness represents your shame, man. And why are you in shame? Because you don't know the truth. You know, you don't have the true knowledge of Yahweh Mashiach. You know, you don't have the true knowledge of Yahweh Mashiach by Shem Rakakadash. You know, that's what makes you naked, man. You know, you're out in shame now, man. You know. They say naked and you clothed me. So what did you do? You supplied them with clothing, which is this word, man. They say keep your garments, keep your garment. Is they talking about a literal garment? No, they're talking about the truth, man. You know? So you're giving someone clothing, you know?
It says, Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me.
Yeah, I was in prison, which we're in prison. You went into that camp not too long ago. I think it was last camp, matter of fact, Isaiah 42 and 22. We are people snared in holes in prison houses, man. You know? So we are in prison. Well, this is captivity, you know? America ain't nothing but a big ass prison house, man. You know? You know? And then sick, well, I'll tell you, Isaiah, the first chapter, my people, the whole head is sick. You know? So that who is that talking about? Well, another name for Yahushua Mashiach is the physician. You know? Which who we supposed to be representatives of, man. You know?
Yep. It says, that was it.
Was it looking for that? Can you read, oh yeah, go down.
It says, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, it says, Matthew 25 and 37, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? Or when saw we thee a stranger, and we took thee in? Or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto thee, Verily I say unto you, insomuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
The least, you see how he said the least of these my brethren, man. You know? So that's another key indicator that, man, it don't matter who you think, not a servant of Yahushua Mashiach, which we already established that we don't know. You know? We got indicators, but at the end all be all, we still don't know fully. You know? It says so to the least one of these, man. You know? You have done it to me, man. And you don't want to, do you want to try Yahushua?
No.
Like, would you try Yahushua? I wouldn't try Yahushua, you know? Especially, remember, he died for you too. That's another icing on it too. Like, he done died for your ass too, bro. So that's even more reason, like, no, I'm not trying him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna try him. You can try him. I'm not gonna do it. Right. You know?
Yep.
I advise you not to try him. You know? So it says, as much as you have done it to the least one of these, you have done it to me. And that's Yahushua Mashiach speaking, man. All right? And who want to really cause offenses to our Lord, man? Yahushua Mashiach, man. You know? You got some, bro?
Yeah, I wanted to get that too. Just to add, this is in 1 Corinthians 13 and 9.
I want to go to that chapter too.
Yeah.
You got this.
I'm gonna just get this point, then we can jump back.
Okay, come.
1 Corinthians 13 and 9 says, For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. It says, But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
That's what
And we brought out earlier, right? In Colossians 3, the bond of perfectness. You know, that charity, that's the bond of perfectness. You know? So this is that which is perfect is come. So we know in part, you know, we got the sign. We don't know necessarily what tribe we from. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if anyone's an Israelite who's a Gentile, but we're preaching this gospel. You know, ultimately, I want to get that in St. Luke 4. You know what I'm saying? Because that's land back to what we just read, Matthew 25. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Having that charity, that's how we're able to prophesy, man. You know, not knowing who anybody is, but we're able to prophesy, all right, according to scriptures, all right, what's going to happen to people, you know, lest they repent, man.
Yeah, like I was telling the brother on the way up here, man, brothers better put a lot more lest they repent on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, these niggas gonna die lest they repent, you know? Because it's not over till it's over, man, you know?
Right.
Even though we know we get close to the end, but it's not the end yet, you know?
Yep.
Well, it's a scripture that say that too, but the end is not yet, Yahushua Mashiach said. Matthew the 24th chapter, man.
Yep, done.
I got that. Which one we get at? This Luke chapter 4 and verse 14. And Yahweh shall return in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And this is good. This is a good account. You made me think of another piece of I had. I don't know. It made me remember. This Luke chapter 4, verse 14. And Yahweh shall return in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And there went out a fame of him through all the region about. It's like, and Yahweh shall return in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And there went out a fame of him through all the region round about. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was.
Yeah, came to the hood. You know what I'm saying?
God, God. Yep. No. I was just, it made me think too that Yahweh Shah Mashiach, he was brought up in Nazareth, man. He was brought up as a Jew, man. He wasn't brought up as no damn Gentile, man. You know? Right. It says, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written.
Yep, about to read Isaiah 61 and 1.
Yep.
Ultimately, this is what brothers would deem as the gospel right here. This is the good news. You know, it's perfect precept. It's one of the powerful precepts we just read in Matthew 25th chapter. Man.
Yep. It says, see, that's a key indicator that you're an evil. You walk all the way around there. You know what I'm saying?
I just noticed that.
That's like, bro, the power is nowhere near me. You know what I'm saying?
Except that's not right.
Good. It says, verse 18, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister and sat down, and the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. And he began to say unto them, this day is the scripture fulfilled in your ears.
That's cool, man. Ultimately, we know Matthew 5, he came not to destroy but to fulfill. He fulfilled particular things, like that right there. The fact that he's reading, Isaiah 61, where he says, the Lord had appointed me to preach to was it?
I got you. So back in Luke. It's back in Luke chapter 4 in verse 18. It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised.
He who saves, man. He who delivers. So the Lord literally appointed Yahweh Shah to do these things, man. And ultimately, hey, this is how it's gonna happen, man. When we preaching, this is what Yahweh Shah's doing. Again, he's literally preaching, repentance. He's literally preaching the gospel of healing the blind, man. Delivering the captives, man. Putting sight to the blind, like I said already.
Through the body of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. That's how he's doing it again.
That's how he's doing it again, man.
Because the body of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, that's what they doing.
Yeah.
And then it said that's what you was appointed to do. So you weren't appointed to do nothing else, man. That's what you was. Hey, can we look that word appointed up? Just see what kind of synonyms you get for it. Appointed. So you want to see what you was appointed to do. This is your appointment. This what we as hopeful men of the Lord, as hopeful servants of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, as the hopeful elect. This is what we was appointed to do.
Yep. Like was it Corinthians where it says the apostles, was appointed. It said apostles were appointed. Take the word definition. It says scheduled, arranged, prearranged, specified, decided.
Decided.
Yeah.
That touch on what we were touching on earlier. Like we don't make we're not making decisions out here, you know. And then it says what you was arranged to do. You know, that harmonious arrangement, man. You know, that governing body, that Allah, you know, which Lord willing we want to be a part of, man. You know.
Agreed. Okay. Yeah,
You read the definition one more time.
Appointed, it says at the time of place. Decided on beforehand, designated.
Decided on beforehand. Decided on beforehand, man. So this already been decided, man. This already been chosen what you gonna do, man. And ain't no way around that, man. Ain't no way to flip that, man. You know?
Yep.
If you are serving in Yahweh Shah Mashah, that's what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna be teaching unto the brokenhearted, man. To the captives, to those who are blind, man. You know? And those are some of the most lowly people, man. You know? That's why the scribes and Pharisees was like, why is this man hanging with publicans and sinners? You know? Publicans and sinners, man. You know?
Yeah.
Why? Because that's what the law was made for, man. The law was not made for a righteous man, man. You know?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's
Yeah. Hey, it's like, what does Scripture say? If your righteousness don't deceive the scribes and Pharisees, you sure ain't no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven. So that's a key indicator. Your ass might be a scribe and a Pharisee. If that's how you acting, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you look like a duck and talk like a duck. You know, walk like a duck, it's a duck.
This is 1 Corinthians 4:9. It says, for I think that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has set forth us, the apostles last, as it were appointed to death.
That's the one kind, yo.
Yeah. It says, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. And then everybody of Yahushua, man. Those men are appointed, man, to do that. To do what Yahushua was doing, man. To come in that spirit, man, to be lowly. You know, set up the apostles last, man. The last shall be first, the first last. So those little children, the ones who believe in Yahushua, are going to come in that lowly spirit, man.
It says, as it was appointed to death, man.
Yeah.
You know? So that, hey, look, it's decided what? Look, it's decided beforehand who's going to die for this truth and who not, man. You know? It's already been decided, man. You know? You can't even choose to die for this truth, man. If you've been chosen to die for this truth, you're going to die for this truth. You know?
Nah, for real, yo.
This is the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5.
I came for some, I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to.
It says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. It says, before I formed thee.
That's heavy. That's spiritual.
The book of the prophet Jeremiah 1 and 5. It says, before I formed thee in the belly, like you saw before. It says, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So this is already written, man. Particular men were chosen from the womb to do this, man. You know, ultimately, like your brother said, to endure to the end, to be that man, all right, to do with Yahushua, man. You know, to be the elect. You know, we put no one as the elect, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, Lord will be those men. You know, and time will tell. You know, when the harvest come in Matthew 13. You know, beautiful. Salakia. You know? Yeah, when that harvest comes, you're gonna see, like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Was this man a true prophet? You know? Did he really have that divine nature? You know?
Can we get back to trying to know we got that hours?
Okay, come.
Touch the early too, but that's a good point to go to that.
Come, yep.
I got a quick one too. I think it's
interrupted. I'm sorry.
Y'all good. It's Matthew chapter 9, verse 12. But when Yahushua heard that he said unto them, they select it. Oh, let me start at 11. It's Matthew chapter 9, verse 11. It says, and when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, why eateth your master with publicans and sinners? You know? So that's they was pretty much trying to defame Yahushua Mashiach. Like, man, y'all, man, that's y'all, man, that's your kid.
10 to 15 hours.
He eat with these guys right here. You know what I'm saying? You know? It says, but when Yahushua heard that, he said unto them, they that be whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. You got it, huh?
God, you know, this is what this law was made for, man. You think it was just left up to chance that we're gonna go off? You know, that we're gonna need this, you know what I'm saying, to look at and to get better, to grow, to repent, to rebuke our neighbors and stuff like that. This is just left up to chance for that to happen now, man. This is how this thing was made, man. You know, that way we can learn, we can come back to remembrance, and ultimately, you know what I'm saying, go through that refining process, man.
Yep, beautiful. Yep, I'll read verse 13. It says, but go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
Right. The whole point is to calling a righteous man to repentance. Like, you need to repent. What you mean? Like, I'm good over here.
God, huh?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir. What's the purpose of that, man?
Right.
You know? I mean, ultimately, you know, when we do these epistles and everything, we speaking to each other, we speaking to ourselves.
Yeah,
ultimately,
God.
because we need repentance too.
God.
We need a physician, man.
God, bro.
We know how wicked and deceitful the heart is.
God, bro. Shit, we still mess up every day. You know what I'm
Every day.
saying?
Yeah, that's why Scripture say to be renewed every day.
Nah, nah. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. That's why we ain't none of us got no guaranteed ticket on no chariots, man. You know, just because you doing the work of the Lord, that you so great, man. You know. Well, first and foremost, you can't even do this without the Spirit of the Lord upon you, man. You know. And then if the Spirit of the Lord is upon you, what you gonna be doing? You're gonna be preaching repentance, all right, to sinners. You're gonna be healing the brokenhearted, man. Releasing the bound from the prisons, man. You know, that's what the Spirit of the Lord really is about, man. You know, condemning the motherfucker to death, man. You know, these people are already condemned to death, man. You know, which ultimately we throw up curses. We're gonna throw up curses, you know. Well, we're gonna throw up curses on Babylon. So Yahweh Shemashah can come destroy this place, man. You know,
That's right.
2/3 of our people, they gonna die. You know, the so-called white man, they gonna die. You know, the Arab gonna die. Ain't nothing about, you ain't gonna change that regardless. And you ain't gonna change Yahweh Shemashah timing on it either. You know. Yep. All we can do is pray for shorter days, man. You know, but that's it. Just because we want something to happen, is it gonna happen? No. You know, it's all about Yahweh Shemashah's will out here, man.
That's right.
You know, so you could be like, I want this person to die. You know, if Yahweh Shemashah don't want them to die, they not dying.
Yep.
Give a fuck what you want. It's not about what we want. That's what Jake don't get, man. It's not about what we want. It's about what the Lord wants.
That's right.
It says so I can glorify my name. That's why I'm doing this. It ain't about us. We ain't nothing, man. You know?
Yep.
We ain't nothing but dirt.
Yep. I got one. This is in St. Luke chapter 18 verse 9. It says, and he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. Yahushua speaking. Yeah. Yahushua speaking. It says, 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, Yahweh, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. It says, I fast twice in a week, I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, Yahweh, be merciful to me, a sinner. Yahushua speaking, verse 14 says, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. So, you know, that's another, this is Yahushua speaking again, man. I'm telling you that you want to be in a particular spirit, man. You want to be humble, you want to be lowly. Matthew 5 tells you, man, blessed is the lowly, you know. It's roughly paraphrasing, man. You want to be meek, you know. Theirs is the kingdom, man. You want to be in that, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm good, look at me compared to this guy. Hey, man, Most High, he could switch the role reverse real quick.
God, bro.
Real quick.
Yup.
You know, so all of a sudden you got 7 demons on you. You know what I'm saying? Start with that politeness. You got 7 more demons on you.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? Then the humble guy who's just so like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, just feeling bad about the stuff that he done. He's repented, and now he's one of the most powerful men in Israel, man. That's how it happened in the past. That's how, hey, man, this is how Most High has it set up, man. There's no new thing under the sun. Like we was talking about earlier in this video, man. You know, ultimately, you want to see like where you stand in this whole thing. Are you gonna be that man who's exalting himself, or are you gonna be that person who's just, you know what I'm saying, just praying for mercy, man? Lord willing, man. Put some Lord willing on it, man.
God, man. God, yeah, man. God, bro. Man, you just said a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking that in Proverbs 30. I know you like getting that now. Proverbs 30.
Oh, yeah, on the 30, Proverbs 30 and 10?
Yeah.
We can grab it. You had some other one?
I mean, you
I know
know
you
get
got
that.
it.
Yeah,
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Let's just get that real quick.
Okay, yeah, let's
Kinda
finish it up.
goes back.
Yeah, let's
Kinda
finish
good
it
time
up.
to
I want to get that Matthew 22. Yes. I know you got a lot of precepts. Man, this is a lot of tab, bro.
Back in St. Matthew 18, in verse 5, it says, and whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me.
So that's what it's about. Like the brother was saying, man. You don't want to be in that spirit like, man, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Look at this guy, man. You know? Because Yahweh Shemach, I can easily turn you to that guy. You know? Who the hell you think you are, man? You know? That's bold as hell, man. You know?
Yeah.
Which the righteous are as bold as a lion, but not in that fashion. You know? That's not what that scripture's talking about, man.
No. That's bold.
God, bro. You know, that's like audacity bold. You know what I'm saying? Like the audacity of you. You know what I'm saying? Like the bold is talking about in there is like courageous. You know, standing up for the Lord bold. You know, not the audacity of you bold. You know?
Yeah.
Word.
Yep. I mean, there's examples on shows and movies and stuff like that, you know, where it's like, you know, in high school, someone who's like so-called popular, they you know what I'm saying, making fun of someone who's like, you know what I'm saying, nerd or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Then that nerd becomes someone who's popular somehow, you know what I'm saying? Now, that nerd's looking at the popular kid like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that could happen, man.
And that's gonna be the story of the elect. That's the story of the elect. The story of the elect are those. It's going to tell you in that 1 Corinthians 4th chapter. It said we're made as the offspring in the filth of the world, man. You know, those apostles that were sent forth last.
Yeah.
So those gonna be like the lowest of the low people, man. You know, in the kingdom of heaven, guess what? They're gonna be the ruling governing bodies of the universe. You know.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be that's the story of the elect right there. You know.
Righteousness are as a filthy rag, man.
Nah.
Filthy rag, man. Righteousness are as tampons, man. That's how righteousness is, man.
Worse
It
than
ain't- Exactly. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing to be glorified in right now, man.
God,
You know, we know some precepts and all that, but we ain't have to stay in our captivity, man.
bro.
We ain't make it yet, man.
God.
And ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody can say that, oh yeah, they got that ticket. You know what I'm saying? They can just look in their pocket and just get the chariot out. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Nobody can do that.
So like, what makes us perfect, man? Our fear and our uprightness in Yahweh Shemel Shah, like Job, man. You know? And if you got fear in Yahweh Shemel Shah, you damn sure not gonna be acting like you somebody out here, man. You know? Because you know Yahweh Shemel Shah, if you fear Yahweh Shemel Shah, you know what he'll do to your ass, man. You know? Thinking you got something, man. I give you something, all right. How about ICBM nuclear missile? How about a wild beast? All right.
Yeah.
How about your children get put to death in a brutal fashion? You know, I got something for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Yep. So that way, if you exalt yourself, you're gonna be abased, man.
Nah.
You know? Yahushua said, I mean, through it says his strength is made perfect in our weakness.
Nah.
You know? So if we strong, then how's his strength made perfect, man? You know, if we already good.
Right. That's beautiful.
How's he gonna be able to heal us if we don't need no healing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How he come for us if we good? You know what I'm saying?
God.
It don't work like that, man.
Right. Those that be whole are not in need of a physician. You know? And then when you go into that word, it's like in Isaiah the 1st chapter, when they talk about how the whole head is sick, when you go into it said there's no soundness in it.
Yeah.
When you go into that word soundness, it goes into a holy or entire, you know, or completeness, you know, which the word health goes into whole, you know. So Yahushua Mashiach, he's what's going to make us whole. What we don't have, we're not whole right now, man. You know, we're not complete.
Yep. We got bags of holes. Yeah.
God,
You know what I'm saying?
that's about it, you know.
Yep.
That's the holy moly.
God,
You know,
Yep.
that's about it for you, you know.
Back in St. Matthew 18 and 6, it says, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea."
Woo!
You got it?
Can I read it one more time?
God.
That's scary. That's what that go back to what we were just talking about. You don't want to try Yahushua.
Yeah.
You do not want to try him. That's the wrong guy to try, bro. You know?
Right. You don't want to be out here feeling lucky. Try your luck.
God, yeah, no, bro. You're not gonna win that one, bro.
That's it.
Yahushua, he got the victory over death.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got the victory over death, so Yahushua, he undefeated, boy. You know? He undefeated. You know? Yahushua, he ain't taking no L's, man. That's the true Money Mayweather, man. You know?
Back in St. Matthew 18 and 6, it says, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he would drown in the depth of the sea."
When we went into that word offend, you know,
Yeah.
True, like offend, that's not just like, okay, like I fucking, you know, so like, excuse my French, you know, I push you in the head or something, which I wouldn't do that to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, that's an offense, but that's not what that's talking about, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that could be considered as an offense, but like, it's more to it, offense than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can offend somebody by, you know, laying a stumbling block in front of them, man. And you can lay a stumbling block in front of somebody by a multitude of fashions, man. You know, you tell them like, man, I don't think you worthy, man. You know, I don't think you worthy of being a man of the Lord. You know, I don't think you got what it takes. I don't think you're knowledgeable enough. You know, I don't think you're right. You know, you need to just quit. Like it was a account. You know, just this for example. I hate to, I hate doing stuff like this, but you know, bringing up real accounts and stuff that happened. But like this young brother who was teaching on the highways and the byways, you know, he was 16, 17, going out there by himself on the highways and the byways, man. Then you had a brother tell him, like, bro, you need to stop going out there. Why? Why? Why would you do that, man? You know, that's laying a stumbling block before your brother. You're gonna have to be accountable for that, man. You know, you can't do that, man. You know, even though the young brother, he went out, that's his fault for listening to that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you cast a stumbling block before that young brother, man. You know? Whatever he was doing wrong, why you just didn't try to help him get it right? You know? That's what it's all about, growth, like you said, man.
Yeah.
You know? You don't tell him to just stop going out there, man. You know? That's putting a stumbling block before your brother, man. And it says, whosoever, how you think that made that little young brother feel? He like, oh shit, this an older brother in the truth telling me I need to go out there. Maybe I do need to stop going out there. Maybe I'm not a good enough teacher, man. You know what I'm saying? You offended one of the little ones, and that's a literal little one.
Literal, little. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Imagine, you know what I'm saying? Telling King David he was a young lad, like, nah, bro, this ain't for you. Nah. You know what I'm saying? You know, they probably try to allude to it, but
That's what King Saul did.
Yeah, but they let him rock at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't just don't say like, no, this is not going down. Just sit your ass in the house. You ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
God, bro. God, that's right. Because even King Saul was like, man, bro, man, my armor way more than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you trying to go out there like, man, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you sure you want to do this? But even King Saul let him go. You know what I'm saying?
He let him go, right? Yep.
And that was against Goliath, man. He was that guy. Like, nobody wasn't running up on Goliath, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Right. Slaying guys from his youth. You know what I'm saying?
God, huh?
So, right. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Goliath was like probably 8-9 feet, man. Had a sword. He was yielding probably about 200, 300 pounds, man. You know? Big ass shield. You know? He throw his shield at your ass, he'll kill you, man. You know?
Yep. You know? So that's why, hey, you don't defend these little ones, man.
Man.
It's the same little ones. I said in one of my lessons earlier that you know, that little child that your house child brought forth, he's here today. You know what I'm saying? The little child is here, man.
That's dang,
Be careful, you don't offend that little child, man.
That's dang, bro.
That's heavy, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's bro.
That's
Yeah, that's
too deep. You know
God,
what I'm saying?
God,
That
I
same
know.
little child in the reincarnation, he could have been somebody else, man. He could have been one of the prophets who wrote one of the books. You know, that same little child. So we don't know who we are. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like, hey, man, you truly want to be, you know what I'm saying? It's a straight gate, man. It's a tightrope you walking, man. You could fall into that deep water, man. The simplicity of your Yahweh shot, you could just fall right into that stumbling block, man. Because he laid it plain, you know, to the holy. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. And that's what Apostle Paul said. He fears that some would be deceived as Eve. I mean, be beguiled as Eve was, you know, from the simplicity, man. So that was one of the fears of Apostle Paul, man. He was scared of that, man. He didn't want that to happen to brothers, man. You know? But it let you know that, like, bro, that can happen. And if that happens to you,
How shall I say, the fences will come.
bro, God, nah.
Woe to him.
Nah, yes, we might well. But I got a quick precept. This Sirach, chapter 44, verse 8. It says, there be of them that have left a name behind them, and their praises might be reported. And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished as though they had never been, and are become as though they had never been born, and their children after them. But these were merciful men, whose righteousness have not been forgotten. With their seed shall continually remain a good inheritance, and their children are within the covenant. Their seed standeth fast, and their children for their sakes. Their seed shall remain forever, and their glory shall not be blotted out. Their bodies are buried in peace, but their name liveth forevermore. God, so yeah, just backing up what the brother was saying. This man out here, you know, who ain't even written in his book, but they was right. They was what it said, merciful men. That's the first thing it said. They was merciful men. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't been forgotten, man. And their righteousness have not been forgotten, man. All right. So don't forget, it's a lot of man. You know, brothers love. Oh, I think he Jeremiah, Obadiah in the spirit, Nahum, Habakkuk. Bro, it's men out. It's some guys out here, man. You know, bro. But guess you don't know who they are. But they name has never been forgotten, man. You know, they were merciful and righteous men. You know, just like that little child. You know.
Yep. Yep.
I want to just read a little bit more. So, allude to the offenses. Kind of throw to that. You guys know what's up?
You have me just thinking something. I could get it now or later.
No, you can go ahead.
This is in St. Matthew 3. I'm going to just start at the top. I'm going to jump down. It says in verse 1, in those days came John the Baptist, preaching in the wilderness of Judea, and saying, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
And Matthew 11:11 tell you, out of man born of women, it was a more righteous man than John the Baptist. So John the Baptist was the top man who ever walked the earth, which through the Spirit we believe was Ave Camp in the reincarnation, man. You know.
I'm gonna just jump in. This is just to give verse 11. This is John the Baptist.
Can you read 9 too?
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah. I started 8. Let me start with 7. It says Matthew 3:7. It says, "But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?"
Woo! You know, brothers love to pull this out. You know, you see,
Generation of vipers. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So you see, John the Baptist, he was cursing motherfuckers. You know, John the Baptist, he wasn't just all including on everybody, but guess what? Scribes and Pharisees, which we was talking about, how brothers conduct themselves as scribes and Pharisees, which if you acting like a scribe and a Pharisee, you will no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven. You know? So how about you not put the Spirit on them to say that to them? Why? Because they were scribes and wicked scribes and Pharisees.
Yeah. Wicked. Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Because we know they were scribes. Oh, you saying period? It's a lot. When that pop up, do it stop the video? Nah. Okay, nah, it's fine. Okay, nah. Yeah, my fault. What I was saying?
Stop the Pharisees.
Oh yeah, right. Because we know that there were scribes and Pharisees who were not wicked. You know what I'm saying? But that's Apostle Paul. He was a Pharisee. You know. And that's another reason why we shouldn't just be so quick to condemn people, man. Because even if somebody is acting like a scribe and a Pharisee, they can turn a new leaf out here, man. Right? You know? Yeah.
It was spooky, man. No, even if you can think, all right, yeah, you think he's wicked, the scribe Pharisee, that's fine. But again, the heart's deceitful above all things. How you gonna? The scripture say to love your enemies. You ain't gonna be like, all right, I think he's a scribe Pharisee. Let's go ahead and just go pray for this nigga. Like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Go well and repent, man. I mean, if you read on. Nate
can repent, man.
I was gonna say it, but yeah, you already know. That's what I was thinking.
I'm going there.
You know what I'm saying? Brothers literally said, let's throw a curse up on Nate. I mean, come on. You know? I mean, other Apostle Tahar ain't doing stuff like that. Let's just be clear, man. Other Apostle Tahar ain't doing that, man.
Man, let's just put it on Frank Street.
I mean, I don't see him doing that.
Bro, Elder Apostle Tahar said it out his mouth. He prayed for Bishop Nate.
He said that.
He said it out his mouth. He prayed for Bishop Nate, man. You know? And that's our elder, man. We give double honor to him. You know, that's our top ranking elder, man. Right. You know, we give double honor to him. We believe he that God. Okay? We should be following after his footsteps here, man. You know?
Yep. God. It says, St. Matthew 3:7. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
Right. Generation of vipers. Bro, the Spirit hopped on John the Baptist to say that, man. Which we believe through the Spirit that we just established that John the Baptist was the greatest man that ever walked the earth. We established through the Spirit, we believe that the elder Ave Camp was John the Baptist. Which the elder Ave Camp, he was brought the revelation of this truth. One man alone, so they let you know how great John the Baptist was, man. So John the Baptist, that was a certain man, man. You know? Everybody ain't got that same status and ranking, you know? Like, everybody can't be Ave Camp, you know what I'm saying? Right. That's high-level stuff, man.
Yep.
So just because Ave Camp did something, just like even the death Ave Camp died, man. You know? Bro, a lot of brothers, bro, he got died, beaten to death while doing the work. It's nothing more honorable than that, man. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yep. Just to before I go for it, this is Prophet Malachi 4 and 5. It says, Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet for the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
So that show you how heavy, because Elijah was John the Baptist, which was Ave Camp. So that show you how heavy that spirit was, man. You know?
Yep.
He was sick before the great, he himself was sent before the great dreadful day of the Lord, man. You know? So after Yahushua Mashiach, Elijah the prophet, that's the top guy. You know? I mean, outside of King David, of course. You know? That's the top guy.
Verse 6 says, he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers.
And that's a heavy-ass task, man. That's a heavy-ass task, man. You know? You mean one man was given his whole abundance of revelation on the truth, man? You know? That's heavy, That's heavy, man. You know? So that's a high-ranking guy, man. You know? I hope you just don't believe you just on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. Yeah, even if you are so far on that level, you know, you wouldn't be in a particular spirit that John was in, which I'm gonna get point in back in Matthew 3, and let me just read verse 7 again. It says, but when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees,
That's like the water was saying that, even if you are on that certain type of level, you want to be in a certain type of spirit. That's what I was meaning trying to say. You don't be trying to think you on that level.
Yeah, because the greatest will be the ones who are on.
Exactly. Exactly.
You'll be thinking that you're great.
Right.
You already are. You're not the greatest now.
Yep. That's exactly how I was trying to say it. The water was saying that.
God. It says, but when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come. Bring forth therefore fruits meet for repentance.
Yeah, bring forth fruits meant for repentance. So he snapped on the ass, but he still said, bro, come get your ass right so he can repent. You know? So at the end of the day, oh yeah, he snapped on them. You know, he cussed their ass out. You know? But at the end of the day, he said, bring forth fruits meant for repentance, man. Meaning get your ass right. You know? Which that's what we're about. Regardless of who you are, we're about getting you right. You know? That's right. Telling you to get right. You know? Because we can't get you right. You know?
Yeah,
At the end of the day, we can't get you right.
Can't get ourselves right.
God, dog. You know?
Verse 11, it says, I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire.
And who he was talking to their ass. He was letting them know, like, look, man, you know, you're gonna have to be like, I can baptize you with some water, but you're gonna have to accept Yahushua Mashiach, man. You know? That's the only way you're gonna truly be baptized, man. You know?
Yep.
He was letting them know, like, look, man, this is what you're gonna have to do to get right, man. You know, look, I can throw this little water on you, you know, in the name of Yahweh Shemyahushua, you know, but you at the end of the day, you're gonna have to accept Yahushua Mashiach and his ways to get right, man. You know? So he was giving them the breakdown on what they gotta do to get right. You know? He wasn't just like, okay, you niggas gonna die, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Close the book.
God, bro.
You need to know. You're dead. You're fucking dead, B.
You Muliani. Hey, but that made me think too, in that Isaiah, that Luke 4, which we read, Yahushua, he read that Isaiah 61:1, and then he closed the book.
Yep. Yeah.
Letting you know, no, this the end all be all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This the end all be all right now. You know?
Yep. Just land back because it says, he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I'm not worthy to bear. We know that's talking about Yahushua, but at the time, you know what I'm saying? He was that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Thousands coming to baptize. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're in the wrong spirit, you could get full of yourself, thinking like, yeah, man, I made it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Good,
But, you know what I'm saying? He's saying, like, hey, someone after me is going to be even better than me, man. You know? You want to be in that spirit, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, ultimately, like, you know, apostles and others, you know, they've been doing this thing for 30 years, ultimately for who? For men who are raised from the foundation to be those men to rule with Yahushua, you know? Ultimately, you know what I'm saying? You want to be in that spirit, like, hey, man, if it's not me, someone else, I could preach this to somebody who's, like, the greatest, man.
Type God's God. That's honorable within itself.
Yep.
You know?
That right there, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I'm saying? Deliver you out of a multitude of sins.
God, yep, God, yep. And then you, what you said about the spirits, attacking my brain, So like, what you said? You said something about the spirits, like
Spirits?
like man, it's like, my fault, bro. Read that last piece of it.
Con. This is St. Matthew 3:11. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance,
Oh, okay. Yeah, go. Yeah, it's like.
but he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear.
Right. And so, like you said, around that time, John the Baptist, he was that guy, you know. But guess so he was so much that guy that the scribes and the Pharisees, who was on their high horse, they was coming to see John. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that lets you know, like, you know, bro, you know, like how heavy this was. You know what I'm saying? But even within that, John the Baptist was like, he was still humble within that. You know? Well, look at, he was in that same chapter, he tell you he was wearing camel's hair, you know, eating wild honey and locusts, you know. So he was a lowly man, you know, but he still was high ranking, you know.
Yep. Just to add too, because in Malachi 4, where I read where it says, "He shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to the fathers." You know.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
John the Baptist, you know, I mean, he is Elijah the prophet, man, you know? And, I mean, we already brought out in Corinthians, it says, to know in part, prophesy in part. John the Baptist, he ain't know fully, all right, you know, what was going down or how it's going to happen, but he know who's coming after him. Oh, yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He knew, you know what I'm saying? He knew he was that man who's going to turn the heart of fathers to the children, the children to the fathers.
Too, because you can be that guy right now, but it can be somebody else that's coming after you that can be that guy.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
Really that guy.
Yeah, God.
Right.
God. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like you might be that guy, but it's somebody else who could come in who really be that guy. Just like in the streets, they be like, you know, you got the OG. You be like, well, you got it's always somebody bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? Like you be like, oh, I'm a gangster. Yeah, con. You be like, I'm a gangster. It's always more gangsters out here. Like you're not the only gangster. You know? You know? It's a lot you gotta do.
That was it. You jumped
Okay.
back to 20?
There's a little bit more than that. 18. It's a lot. Yeah, I just want to get to that part where it says,
Okay, come. This is in St. Matthew 18 and 6. It says, "But whoso shall offend one of the little ones."
you can read that again. No.
Is that it?
Yeah, you read that verse again. Yeah, that's what we stopped at.
Okay, kind of. I think Mark 9 says that. All right, this is.
Oh, yeah, we read now that.
It says, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea."
Yeah, so it said it was better for you that a millstone was hanging around your neck, man. You know? And drowned in the depth of the sea. So you might as well just go ahead, go to the San Francisco Bridge, you know,
Right.
hang a cinder block on your neck, and jump in the ocean before you offend one of the little ones, man. You know?
Yep.
So you gotta be careful about what you're doing out here, man. That's basically what that breakdown on that is. Be careful what your ass is doing.
Yeah.
You know? Desire the sincere milk.
Yep.
You know? That's sincere milk right there. Like, look, calm your ass down before you get knocked off. You know?
Yep. Yeah, when I first came into this thing, you know what I'm saying? Brother was telling me, like, you know, you could be one of these guys, you know, one of the prophets, one of the men before me, like, you know what I'm saying? He came in that spirit, like, I'm nobody, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be that guy. And that's the type of spirit that the brother was on, you know what I'm saying, when he was putting me on. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just something that always stuck. Like, you want to be in that spirit, like, you know what I'm saying? You preaching to people who don't know nothing, you know what I'm saying? They might really be that guy. You know what I'm saying? He may be the person that saves your life, man.
Nah, bro.
You're saving him, but he's saving you. You know what I mean?
Nah, bro. It's just like, I look, you know, this Israelite, he just waved at us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this a heathen. But at the end of the day, that could be a change. You don't never know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even though he running like a straight up heathen,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I could be like, oh, that's a heathen. F that guy. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where it turns into a stumbling block. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what's the point? If you don't know, then why is anything worth doing? You know what I'm
Because it's not about you. It's not so no man can boast. That's what it's all about. We're not supposed to be able to boast, man. That's the whole point that Jake don't get.
I just thought time of video I was gonna put. I just thought about it. Just say it's not about you. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Not about you, man.
dog.
It's not about you. It ain't about you, man. Anyone who has an ear to hear, this is not about you. You know what I'm saying?
It's not about us.
It's not about us. It ain't about me. It ain't about him. You know what I'm saying? It's about Yahweh Shem HaShah.
Brother.
He can raise up lively stones, man. You know what I'm saying? To be those children of Abraham.
Oh, that was in that Matthew 3. So like, that's what I wanted to get to.
Oh,
I'm glad you said it. Yeah, that was the spirit you said it, because that's what I wanted.
Oh,
It's
for real?
Yeah, I'm glad you said it.
It was like a little bit higher.
Yeah, it was like,
Right.
okay, the next one, that's what I want, a slot.
You get that now?
Bring it.
St. Matthew 3 and 9. It says, and think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you, that the Most High is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham.
Bro, so don't get, you was like, oh, I'm a child of Abraham. I'm a child of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm an Israelite, bro. Bro, it ain't too many people out here doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get puffed up like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we out of our city, we got the brothers in GMS. You know what I'm saying? That's like, what, 15, 20 brothers. We got the brothers in Sakari. You know, there might be like 10, 20 brothers. You know, I'm not for sure how, you know. IUIC Atlanta, you might got another, 20 to 50 brothers. You know, so it's a small sanctuary of people who are actually doing the work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so you can be on some stuff like, man, I gotta be one of them guys, man. You know? But don't get the feeling like that, man. You know? Don't get the feeling like that, because Yahweh Shem HaShah can raise up any stone, which we are lively stones,
Con.
Yeah, Con, bro.
So St. Matthew
Yeah,
18.
Yep.
This is St. Matthew 18 and verse 7. This is, woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come.
Yeah, so it's set up that these offenses don't come. Why? Because this is how the goats and the sheep gonna be separated, man. So that's why offenses gotta come. Why? Because those who offend, they gonna get knocked off. That's why you don't want to be offending out here, man. They go back to what you started off this camp off of saying. We want to make sure we on the right side. We want to make sure we're doing the right thing. Because you don't want to be one of those who, is doing the wrong thing, which is bringing forth offenses.
God. But woe to that man by whom the offense cometh.
Yeah, woe to that man by whom the offense cometh, which means death and destruction unto you, man. So you want to talk about death and destruction? Well, death and destruction is coming to anybody, all right, who brings offenses out here, man. So make sure your ass not bringing offenses, because death and destruction gonna come to you, man. Yeah, Con, yeah, you can get that. Con, yeah, you can.
Get it now,
yeah, you can break it real quick.
This is in the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, and verse 10. Proverbs 30 and 10, it says, accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee, and thou be found guilty.
So here it is, you're trying to accuse enough, because we all servants, so you try to accuse the servant before the master, which is our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, and he end up getting angry with your ass and killing you, man. You be like, oh Lord, this nigga ain't right, man, we need to knock him off. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord be like, okay, well he not right, well how about I knock your ass something? Well, because it said we must all appear before the judgment seat of a Mashiach Yahweh Shah, man.
Back in St. Matthew 18, 7, it says, woe to the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come. But woe to that man by whom the offense cometh.
Yeah, woe to that man by whom the offense cometh. You like, Yahweh Shah, go ahead and knock him off. We need to knock this guy off, man. Let's set up a stumbling block for him. No, how about I set up a stumbling block for you? How about that?
Yeah.
No, that's it on that.
It says, wherefore if thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off.
Yeah, right. So if you in a mind state like just like me. You know what I'm saying? Just using me for example, like, you know, Lord willing, I feel, you know, I'm trying to grow. You know, so, you know, probably like a year ago, and I cut your ass out, man. You know, but I'm trying to be more, you know, trying to be better, man. You know, so that's an example of like, okay, if you got a problem with, you know, wanting to see motherfuckers die, just cut that shit off, man. You know, cut it off, man. Because, bro, regardless if you think somebody gonna want somebody to die or not, they gonna die if Yahweh Shah got a ring. Guess what? You don't want to die. If Yahweh Shah wants you to die, you're gonna die. You know? Ain't no taking like, okay, I want to die. You know? Of course, we want to die for righteousness' sake. You know? But you ain't just like, I want to die. You know? That's why we do this work, because we want to die for Yahweh Shah. But guess what? If Yahweh Shah got you slated to die, you're going to die. It don't matter what you want, man. So that's why you gotta be careful, man. Because, bro, who's set up to die is gonna die, man. You know, that's point blank, period, man. You know.
Right. This thing, hey man, it's a fearful thing, man. You know, you can be doing the work. You know, not to go too deep, but this brother years ago I heard about. You know what I'm saying? He was doing the work and everything. You know. He ended up going to a party, got his head blown off.
Oh yeah, I heard that story too. Gone.
You know what I'm saying?
Gone.
This is a guy who's doing the work. You know? So, I mean, you know, there's that, man. This is, wherefore if thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off and cast them from thee. It is better for thee to enter into life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into fire everlasting.
Nah, so it's better to just let something go that you can let go. You know what I'm saying? Like me and this brother, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a rift, but you know, you remember when the situation first occurred, and I was like, bro, I don't think you necessarily have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Look, I don't want to touch on it on camera, but you know, I was saying like it was something I came to this brother about, like, bro, I don't think you necessarily have to do it. And the brother was like, he didn't per se like fully, you know, be like, I mean, he might have agreed with what I was saying, but he was like, I mean, I don't have to not do it, you know. But the brother was just like, F it, I'm gonna stop doing it, man.
You talking about recently?
Yeah, gone. That's an example of like, you know, like cutting up your gun, bro. Just like F it, it's not even that important, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like this brother told me, you know, like, bro, I think you might need to tone down with your jury a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna be like, man, bro, that's where no law is, ain't no transgression. You know what I'm saying? Just stop doing it, man.
Okay.
Like, it's easy to stop doing it than to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying?
That don't mean if someone tells you to stop doing the work, then like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna stop doing the work.
Exactly, exactly. That's where that discernment come in.
Discernment, yeah.
You want to be discernment in higher things. You know, what? Know you not that you should judge angels? Woo. Can you not judge the smallest matter? You know, come on, man.
Yep.
Yes, man. Can we get 1 Corinthians 9 and 14? I know we got that passage from 1 Corinthians 13. Yes, you got it.
This is 1 Corinthians 9 and verse 14. It says, even so hath the Lord ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel.
Woohoo! So, bro, the Lord have ordained, this what the Lord ordered you to do. If you are preaching the gospel, you gotta be living the gospel, man. You know? Which the gospel is more than just, okay, the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, you hitting the highways and the byways. Well, a precept, this precept right here, is a commandment. You know what I'm saying? It's a commandment, but that's not necessarily in the Torah. You know?
Yep. So you're talking about the gospel we already read and see, you know, you know what I'm saying? 14 through 21, really, Isaiah 61, you know, what's really the gospel? What's really gonna you know, heal the brokenhearted, you know, bring sight to the blind, you know what I'm saying? It's to that spirit, man. You know, it's being of that divine nature that's going to be able to do it, man.
Yep. Because what the word gospel means? Good news.
Yep.
Glad tidings.
Good tidings,
Yeah,
yeah.
God. You know. So that's what is good tidings? What is good news and good tidings? Like, look, you don't have to die. You don't have to perish. It's a way to escape that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. So the gospel, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I be saying sometimes certain things, like, yeah, this is the good news. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, a lot of things, the prophecy come to pass, man. You know, that's good news, you know, from the Lord, man. You know, we love seeing these things happen, you know, but when it comes to healing the brokenhearted, people who truly don't even know anything in this thing, man, you know, what's really going to heal them up? You know, letting them know that this place is going to get destroyed? Yeah, you know, nah. You know, ultimately letting them know that, hey, the Most High still loves you. You still got a chance to repent. Have that long suffering, man.
Yep.
That mercy. You know, that right there is part of the gospel, man. You know, that's something that these Christians might, have a little. They might be on something on that end. You know what I'm saying?
God, I was thinking that one day too. You know what I'm saying? Even though we know these Christians are out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they stuck on God loves everybody. The gospel, the gospel is only for particular people.
Right, God.
Only the Israelites are truly captives, man. You know, these other nations, this is their kingdom. You know, even if they're slaves in some form or fashion, we are slaves, man.
Bro, the world was made for our sakes.
Right. Exactly.
They've been ever reputed as nothing.
Exactly.
You know, so that even if they are being a slave, they're nothing anyway.
Right. They're getting more than they supposed to. You know what I'm saying? They're not oppressed.
Good,
In the kingdom, they might have a little less than what they get now.
Right, God, huh? You know what I'm saying? They definitely
especially Edomites.
God.
But, you know, other nations, they, you know what I'm saying? They
Right.
gonna have their own land and stuff.
But we still gonna subject their ass to righteousness. So that alone right there is gonna be like real harsh punishment for them. That's like cruel and unusual punishment. You know, because if you're a heathen, you don't have righteousness in your DNA, but you being subject to it. You know, that's harsh. You know. Go down to 16.
Verse 15, it says, "But I have used none of these things, neither have I written these things."
You can tell he was in there. He in the wrong spirit, man.
Who the dude?
Yeah, I mean, of course you Pan-African.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he think it's about here coming out here to slice and dice, man. Yeah, we ain't come out here to do no damn slice and dice, man.
Yeah.
We're not no samurais. We're spiritual samurais.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we ain't come out here to be like, oh, you're the devil. You know, that's not what we came out here for repentance, to bring repentance to sinners.
That's it. Okay.
That lets you know where our people's mind be at, bro. It's all about them and what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Is it going? Yeah, it's going. Hello.
All right. It says, 1 Corinthians 9:16, "But though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of."
So, bro, your glory don't come from you teaching the gospel. Bro, you're supposed to do that.
It says, "For necessity is laid upon me."
Yeah, necessity is laid upon you. Gotta do that.
Yeah. Woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel.
Yeah, woe unto you if you preach not the gospel, man. You know? So look, you could be preaching the gospel, you can still get knocked off. But if you don't preach the gospel, you damn sure gonna get knocked off. You know? So if you're preaching the gospel, you better make sure you be preaching the gospel according to how Yahweh Shemashah wants you to preach it. Which he wants you to preach it and live by it. You know? That's how he wants you to preach it, man. You know? He don't want you to preach it and be like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to preach it and be like, oh, let me take heed to what I'm preaching for. This happens to me. You know?
That was 16.
Oh, yeah.
Verse 17, it says, "For if I do this thing," it says, "For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, the dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me.
Yeah, so look, because really we don't have no choice anyway. We don't have no choice anyway, you know? So you better make sure you're doing this right. You better not, you better not be doing it well because you're like, okay, I gotta do this, so I'm a filter it how I want to filter it since I gotta do it. No, your ass better be doing it how you gotta do it, okay? Or guess what? You're gonna die, you know? You can't be like, oh, I gotta do it. Well, so since I gotta do it, I'm gonna do it this way. No, since you gotta do it, you gotta do it this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Jay coming to the knowledge, and then they want to get in the booth. Make an album out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Good, huh?
Like, nah, that's not the work.
God, bro.
You know?
God.
I mean, doing music is music, you know, but that's not the work.
Right, God, huh? You be like, yeah, this is my talent. Bro, it didn't say nothing about no talent being music.
That's not the talent. That's not the talent.
God, huh?
That was given unto you.
God, bro.
To flip.
God, bro.
It says, verse 18, what is my reward then? Verily, that when I preach the gospel, I may make a gospel of Hamashiach without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel.
Oh, break it down, huh? Break it down.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? We get this knowledge, then, you know, we feel like, all right, you know what I'm saying? We're able to do a lot of great things, which
Right.
is a beautiful thing.
Right.
But you won't be abusing that power. You know what I'm saying? Be like, you're going into slavery. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, we tend to do that sometimes.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's the truth. Like,
If they are an Edomite,
yeah, God, they
now
going
we
to
at a
sleep.
point we don't even know.
God.
You see, you know what I'm saying? Like some people,
Yeah,
you
could
might as well be an
yeah,
Edomite.
God.
It's basically, Donald Trump is an Edomite.
Oh, yes, that's fucking,
Yeah.
that's Andrew Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking like, I'm thinking the Hebrew Israelites being like, that might be a Jake. I mean, nah.
Yeah, the one Jake last week said that Donald Trump is black.
Shit. Yeah, I mean, he's black. He's quite alike. Yeah. He ain't no Israelite though. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to be abusing the power that was given to you. This ain't even our power, man. You know? This is just given to us. And it can be taken right out.
Bro.
You know? The spirit can hop right off us, just like Saul. The evil spirit hop on us. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They start talking about, you know what I'm saying? The saints is leprechauns. some crazy shit.
Yep, good, good,
You know what I mean?
Hey, it was actually a Jake when I was in Philly with McQuad. He was actually saying something similar to that.
Oh, shit.
Like, I promise, bro, he was literally saying the Saints was like, I don't think it was leprechauns, but it was something like on those lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, bro.
Yeah, man. You abuse the power, hey, man. It's a fearful thing, man. You know? Like, we only here for one. You got one job, like they say. No, you have one job. You can't mess it up, man.
Yeah, you had one job.
You know what I mean? You can't mess it up, man. This is one opportunity, you know? Like with Eminem, like, you know what I'm saying?
I hope you don't mind if I cover your case yet again.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. I got a problem with them because
This is one of my brother's favorite topics.
spoke to one of his brethren, and he told me about how King James was a black man. Cool. I looked that up. All over Google, King James was a black man. You guys never say it, really. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean, still got that job. Is there any independent source that I can verify that King James is a black man, other than a website from the
So-called white man.
history
Oh, yeah.
Hebrew history.
Right, okay,
You know what I'm saying?
You know something you might be able to? I know you had this.
Yeah, I did a video on that, but I don't really know offhand, you know. I mean, you know what Scott mean? The word Scott, like Scotland, you know the word Scott?
Heard of it?
Scott, I believe, means black. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken.
I know the word more does.
More, yeah, more means black.
And I know that we were all through European history, we all in this stuff.
Yep.
But King James, my humble opinion, is not a man to grab. As the other people say about his version, for anything, and
you know, a lot of our people, they was wicked as hell too. You know what I'm saying? Even people in top positions like Constantine, you know, we believe that he was a so-called black man.
Oh, no,
Yeah, he was definitely. You know what I'm saying? He was an Israelite, yeah, but our people was doing wicked stuff. No, I don't know about that. I mean, he probably was. I don't know, but you know, but our people was into high-level wickedness. You know what I'm saying? The Council of Nicaea. No, those were Israelites. You know?
On that level, us going back to the
well, you know, the Lord said in his book, you know, it say he chose the base things of the world to confound the wise. You know, so in these scriptures, you know what I'm saying, like
you're gonna be practicing.
oh, hey, we come out here every week, Lord willing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, but you know, it's like you gotta look in the book, like it's only certain. It say, blessed through your eyes, for your eyes see it. You know, so it's certain men who could look at the book and they could be like, yeah, that, you know, and then it came from this source right here. But ultimately, the Heavenly Father, he don't need but just a little bit to get his message across. Oh, you got the door.
No, but my thing is, yeah, that's fine. You know, you can read Romans, preachers, one of the things my mom said, you can find anything. You're not supposed to find anything to justify anything.
Yep.
But for me, it's about looking at people.
Right.
It's about doing like more than just work.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Put it like that, you know.
No, you're supposed to match history up. You're right.
Looking beyond just what somebody wrote on the page. I think seeing some older Bible that use verse a little different.
Right.
And that's fine, you know. But that was a little thing. And kind of why I'm out here too. So I figured let me stop and
Good.
thank you, Brian.
I had a question for you. So, let's say you were King James, you were as a white man. Would you allow a book to be written that condemns your people, like white people? Like, 'cause the Bible talks against white people.
Yeah, and
Why would a white man do that?
because even if we here we go. Perfect example.
That's what the book says.
Yeah. So that's what he was doing. He was serving. He came out of he was doing what he was supposed to do.
Well, even the so-called white man ruling over us, that's his service too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually he said only he who letteth will let until you take him out of the way. You know what I'm saying? So he said only he who letteth will let until you take him out the way. So ultimately, you know, the Heavenly Father, he gave the so-called white man power to rule over us just for a certain moment. And he eventually going to take him out the way.
I apologize for taking this time.
No, you brother, you good, brother.
Stay strong, man.
Hey, you was well, brother. You was well, brother. Yeah. Hey, they say we are viewing them by the prophets.
That record's gonna come though.
Yeah, God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that real rock.
That real rock, yeah.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, ultimately, if you stay long enough, we could have went into it, but you know, we're about to get up out of here. Yeah, ultimately, yeah. Yeah, you know, like asking that question, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? He got his answer. That's your answer? Okay, cool. Like, what kind of logic is that though? Why would a white person have a book? I mean, your whole thing against the Bible is like, all right, you can't trust the book because the white man wrote it. But the white man, the book, I mean, we know this thing is pure. But even, you know what I'm saying, taking that off the table, it condemns blonde hair, white skin. Why would a white person put in a book that condemns your people, man?
Yeah, it go real deep into it too. Like they even go Obadiah 1:18. There should be none remaining of the house of Esau.
Right.
Like that's wow. Right. Like that's extra spice on it. You know what I'm saying?
God. It describes who the world calls Christ, Yahushua, as a so-called black man.
God.
Well, if you were the king and you were a white man, and if you know what I'm saying, even if, let's say King James was white, he don't got no power to change the pureness of this doctrine. If it was up to him, he would, you know what I'm saying, he would, what did I say? contaminate. What's the word? Defile, contaminate, dilute. There's another word, but basically, you know what I'm saying?
All synonymous.
All synonymous. You know what I'm saying?
I know you're looking for that specific.
Right.
So,
Kind of. The Bible tampered with. I guess tampered. Is that the word?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He would tamper the scriptures, and make the image of who are plus Christ to be written in the scriptures. If he wanted to really, if it was up to him, you know what I'm saying? If it was up to him, he would really condemn the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans in the book.
right.
You know
That's why they got the Book of Mormon.
right.
That's what the Book of Mormon is for. Let me get a real quick precept. Just real quick. Because Esau did do that. Through this guy.
Right.
This why this guy's exalted and above all, exalted and worshipped above all.
Yep.
He said it's God, man.
Right. Yep.
So Esau did do that.
Right. Yeah. He could go as far as to doing it, messing tampering the
Right time.
word.
So he had but that's how stupid he is though. You want to talk about how stupid he is? This guy, he made an image that doesn't reflect in all the image that's written in the Bible. Now that's how stupid he is. You know what I'm saying? He's not so stupid that he'll make an image of somebody of the so-called black race just to down talk himself. No, he's so stupid that he would make an image that doesn't portray nothing what's in the scriptures and think he can get away with it. That's how stupid he is. He's even more stupid than you think.
God. Yep. Image. It only matters for truth's sake, man. Like we was bringing out earlier, it's not about the outward appearance, like he was kind of carnal, say particular things, but ultimately, let's just say King James was white, which we don't subscribe to that. But if that's the case, then he was a pro-black white man, because the book is pro so-called black man.
So yeah, even if he was a so-called white man, which he was not,
right.
At the end of the day,
he hated himself.
God, and he wrote this for us then. Thank you.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit, you wanna go there and shit.
Right. Like so-called white people, Black Lives Matter. That was King James. That's how you want to say it?
God, bro. Just like when I quoted that scripture to him, Yahweh Shemashah chose the base things of the world to confound the wise.
God, that was over his head.
Oh yeah, this brother,
that's that song that sounds good to him. You know what I'm saying? He got the bop like, you hear me though. You see me, but do you hear me?
Yeah. That's why I quoted that other scripture too. Blessed are your eyes, for your eyes can see. Everybody's eyes weren't made to see this.
Yep.
That's why, they say other than Hebrew Israelites. Well, the Hebrew Israelites, those are the true researchers. Those are the true forecasters. That's who you should want to go to get your knowledge from.
Yeah.
You want to go somewhere else to get your knowledge from.
Earlier I might have been, spirit would have been on me.
I definitely
was
wasn't.
Lord's will. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely was.
Really dip and dab into what he believes. Alright, so if you don't subscribe to the Bible, what you believe? Book of the Dead. You know what I'm saying? You believe African soul, other Africans in their slavery. You know what I'm saying? You need to go back to Africa. You know? Cause, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, people are true, man. And that your man ain't gonna receive it, man.
See, that might be a J. You see, he got the little sauce with it. You know what I'm saying? Might. You know what I'm saying? But you're like, that's like how you gotta, because you can't just be like, oh, that's Elon. You know what I'm saying, bro? He had a little bump in that walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, you don't know.
Yeah. You said Elon, he did turn his head a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. I'm just,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just throwing it out.
That's how you rehearse the righteous
Right,
acts. Not knowing who anybody is, you just want to have long suffering. Let the Most High, sift the wheat with the tares, man.
Nah, brother.
Sift the 2/3 with the 1/3. Which, that's, wheat and tares ain't about that, but, we just applying it.
Yep. I got this right here. This 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So the heathen been doing that, man. They not smart enough to make a book of their own law. They just gotta look at your law and then try to copy it. Bro, they're so stupid that they don't even know how to make their own interpretation of something. They just gotta like, you know, like in school you like, you reading the book, you like, I need some illustrations. I need pictures. That's how stupid you are. You can't read and comprehend it. You gotta see a picture. You know, that's how stupid Esau is, man. You know, he need illustrations. You know.
Yep. Nah, bro. Yep. Crazy, man. I was just thinking something. Come back.
God.
This is back in 1 Corinthians 9, verse 18. It says, "What is my reward then? Verily, that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Mashiach without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel."
I make the gospel of Yahweh Mashiach without charge. I ain't even gonna say nothing on that. You know what I'm saying? We just leave that, you know. What that sound like though? He said the gospel of Yahweh Mashiach, not your gospel. You know, the gospel of Yahweh Mashiach, I'm gonna live without charge. You know?
Yeah.
You know? Why? Because it's not mine. You know?
Kind of. Yeah, I was just thinking, it still came back. I was just thinking, like, how, if you really go into this book, man, this word, I mean, that alone, you know, I mean, his argument was King James, that's irrelevant, really, you know? That's an irrelevant conversation. If you really go into the book, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no debate on it.
Right, bro, have you tried to pray in the name of Yahweh outside? That's what I be wanting to ask a lot of these people too, like, bro, have you even tried to pray in that name? Bro, it's power in that name alone. You know what I'm saying? Which ultimately you ain't gonna be able to do it if Yahweh ain't dealing with you. You know? Hello.
Yeah. That was it on that?
What 19?
It says, verse 19, "For though I be free from all men, yet I have made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more."
That's what it's all about, man. Although we free from all men, you know, we have to make ourselves servants to all men, you know? Although we're free from all men, we have to make ourselves servants to all men, you know? That I might gain the more, because that's where your gain is at, you know? That's where your gain is at, man. Within bringing others to repentance, being there for brothers, charity. That's what it's all about. That's how you get your reward. Yep. Don't we want rewards? Hey, this is what we do. We want to get rewarded. How do you get rewarded? She might be a Terry. But that lets you know though, it could be, you know, a Jake that, you know, could be running like a heathen that could really be a Jake. Because that's heathenistic as hell right there.
Verse 20, it says, "And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law." It says, "To them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to the Most High, but under the law to Hamashiach, that I might gain them that are without law."
Woo! Dang! Oh my gosh, bro! That's ice cold right there, bro. I didn't even know it was gonna be that ice cold. Like that's like woo! Like dang, bro. So to them that are without the law, you know, I have become without the law, but not without the law to Yahweh, you know, but under the law of Yahweh Mashiach. Why? So I can be accepted of Yahweh, you know. What was Yahweh Mashiach? What Yahweh say to do? He told you something simple and plain. This how you know Yahweh he wasn't on no deep breakdowns. This is what he said: feed the sheep and love thy neighbor. That's simple and plain, man. There ain't no deep, elaborate breakdown, man.
Yep, the simplicity of Mashiach.
John, bro. You know? Oh, you read that? It's a good reform too.
Verse 22, "To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak."
Oh, so to the weak, I became weak, so I might gain the weak. You know?
"I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some."
Woo! That's cold. Yeah, let's get out of there. Yeah. It just got too hot in the kitchen.
Got too hot in the kitchen, man. Yep.
that's like, bro, what the scripture say? You know? But many stumble and wrestle with Paul's rightness to their own destruction. You know? You got people saying, oh, Paul might have been going off. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on. That's the Matthew 20. You got something else? Yeah,
And then from
This
there,
is St. Matthew chapter 20, verse 1. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the third hour, and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way." It says again, he went out about the 6th and 9th hour, and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out, and found others standing idle, and said unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle?
So look, this hirer, which was Yahweh Mashiach, he didn't look at the those who came in the first hour as no different than those who came in the 11th hour, man. He didn't look at them no different. He was like, why y'all standing here idle? Like, get to work. He didn't look at y'all like, he didn't look at them like, okay, oh, y'all here at the last moment, man, y'all probably finna get knocked off. You know? If you ain't been working yet, then your ass ain't never gonna work. He didn't come at them like that, you know?
Right. Yep. And he look at the ones that was laboring since the first hour. Like, you know what? You started in the beginning. You can slack
Always gonna
off.
go into it, God.
Slack.
No, you good. God, that's a great point.
It says, verse 7, "They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He said unto them,
Which proves that men out here looking it's men out here at the last moment who looking for this work. You know, they need it. You know, even at the very last moment, bro.
Yep. He said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that ye shall receive. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard said unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last until the first."
Beginning from the last to the first. You know.
Yeah.
So what you were saying about how Slack, you read it. I know you said you made a point, but it's such a.
It says, "And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good men of the house."
Right, so they was thinking like, oh, they thought that they were supposed to receive more or something, you know? But like you were saying, just because you came in the first hour, it didn't give you more leeway to slack off or like be on some kind of higher level or something. You know what I'm saying? You already agreed for what you was gonna receive, you know?
Yep. All right.
What's going on, brother?
All right. Okay.
Oh, okay. Cesario.
All right.
That's a Jake though.
That's a Jake, huh?
You look like
that's
him. That's a Jake.
Yeah.
You can see it in his smile.
Hey, man, at least he know he an Israelite, you know? That's a plus, you know?
Yep.
Right. It says, verse 12, it says, "They was murmuring, saying, These last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and heat of the day."
So you got brothers out here feeling like that, like, man, you ain't equal to me. That's wicked. That's wicked, bro. You saying somebody ain't wicked to man that's like yourself, man that is like yourself. So man is equal to you, you know, which we went into that divine nature, which makes you above other men, you know. But how do you have that? By having temperance, virtue, faith, humbleness of mind, you know, meekness, you know. That's what gives you that divine nature, not the work that you put in, you know. They don't give you the divine nature.
Where you seeing that, sign.
Good.
Good. That's a classic, man.
Yeah, God, yeah, that was a. Hey, the water y'all like you guys out for that sign. Yeah, that is beautiful.
Classic.
God,
You see that sign, and they catch him like, oh,
my bad.
Good. Jesus. What is y'all doing? What?
Are y'all some kind of devil worshippers?
Mind blown.
Good,
Man. It's a lot. It says, verse 12. These last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and heat of the day. But he answered one of them and said, Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst thou not agree with me for a penny? It's a lot.
Yep.
It says, Take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee.
Yep. And we went into that word appointed. One of the words that was synonymous was appointed was agreed.
Yeah.
You know? So everybody was appointed to do the same thing. At the end of the day, take what your ass was agreed to do. You know? Do what you already agreed to do. That's it. Don't do no more than what you agreed. You know? Don't expect no more than on what you've been appointed on. You know? Ain't no audibles out here. You know?
God. Yep. It says, verse 14, Take that thine is and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even unto thee. It says, Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own?
Woo! Who is it not lawful to me to do with my own, bro?
Yeah.
So, bro, Yahushua can do whatever the hell he want to do. You know?
Yep. Period.
Con, bro, which means he can raise up somebody at the last second and get them the same reward that somebody been laboring 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And what you gonna say he wrong for that?
Yep.
How about I take away your reward, period?
Yep. Because just, you know, we made a point earlier, just meditate on it. Like someone who woke up at the last second, he could have been someone who labored their whole life in the last generation, you know, when they, you know what I'm saying?
Con,
That time passed.
Con.
You can't look at him now like, man, he just woke up.
Right.
Like, he don't deserve nothing.
God.
You know what I'm saying? That's just, brothers probably don't say that, but they be moving like that.
Yeah, con. Or be thinking it.
They be thinking it.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, they be thinking it. Yep.
Because this scripture, this is deep, this is parabolic for what's gonna happen. You know?
Yep. Yep.
And you can see it all day right now.
Verse 16, it says, So the last shall be first, and the first last, for many be called, but few chosen.
Woo! Be careful. That's the moral of that story. Be careful. You know?
Yeah, like Lil Wayne had that song, Babyface. Don't ever get too comfortable.
Yeah, God,
You
yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Don't think, hey, you can't get comfortable in this thing, man. This is not our rest.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
God, bro. Yep.
Man.
It said, come to me, all ye that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, let's get that first
Yeah, and then all the paintings up there that are meant to be.
Yeah, God, yeah, they've been, I've been doing this the whole camp, like,
First Corinthians, you said, which one? First Corinthians
13. Yeah, come.
This is a book of 1 Corinthians 13:1. It says, Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
So, hold on, read it one more time.
Huh. It says, Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels,
Oh, and of angels,
and have not charity,
and have not charity.
I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
Yeah, you just sound good, you know? Like Jay said, it sounds good, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It says, And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all
The
mysteries
gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries, you know?
and all knowledge,
And all knowledge,
and though I have all faith,
and all faith,
all faith,
all faith.
You talking about a grain of mustard seed? Not all faith. It says, so that I could remove mountains.
So I can literally remove mountains. He said if you have faith of a mustard seed, you can remove mountains. He said no, that I can move mountains. Like, I got enough faith out here, like, bro, I go to a mountain right now, what's up, move, you know?
Right, God. It says, and though I have all faith so I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing.
I am nothing. So if you ain't got charity, you're nothing, which we're already nothing. So how much more of nothing you are without, you're in the negative, like you be saying.
Negative, right?
You're in the negative.
Yeah,
you know?
double whammy. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Like, these nations are counted as nothing. Man.
Right.
You know?
Woo!
So,
God.
I mean, you have not charity, you liken into a heathen for real.
God, bro. God.
You know what I'm saying?
God.
You know?
Because Israel is considered as to a worm, you know, so that's already nothing. A worm ain't nothing, you know. But if you don't got charity, you're really nothing. You liken unto the heathen, like you were saying, you know.
Yep. It says, charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up.
Yeah, it's telling you what charity is right there. It's not puffed up. It don't envy you. It don't vaunt itself up, man. You know.
It says, does not behave itself unseemly.
Does not behave itself unseemly.
Seeketh not her own.
Seeketh not her own. That's true charity. Don't seek of its own will.
It says, is not easily provoked.
It's not easily provoked, man. Forbearing one another. Forgiving, long suffering.
Thinketh no evil.
Think of no evil, period. Which we know evil just means bad. Which if you're trying to lay a stumbling block in front of somebody or deem somebody not right, then that's evil, man. That's evil.
Rejoiceth not in iniquity,
Rejoiceth not in iniquity, man.
but rejoiceth in the truth.
But rejoiceth in the truth, man. You know? And what's the truth? Yahweh Shah Mashiach is the truth.
Beareth all things.
Beareth all things. Beareth all things, bro. You know? Even this Pan-African fool, man. You know? You think I don't want to just tell this man, you're a sicko. You know? You worship Horus, the sun god. You know? That's who you worship. You worship the damn sun, you damn fool. You know? But what we forbear, you know? We try to tell them, like, look, man, you know, why would the so-called white man make a book about his own self, man? You know? We can cuss him out, put a curse on his ass, man. Look, man, go on about your business, Lord willing, per victory, how about you now start deal with your ass, man? Because if not, you're gonna get destroyed.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Our little discourse, we didn't really go too much, but you know, we try to, hey, as the scriptures talk about, have that long suffering, you know, meekness, kindness, you know what I'm saying? Well, Will, even that little question I asked him, like, why would the so-called white man condemn his own self? Well, he could think on that a little bit.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? His response is like, all right, he retarded. I mean, he retarded, but, I mean, come on. Think about it logically, though.
Yeah,
like, why would he do that?
Right,
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's just an example. Like, hey, man, you know, I mean, doing the work, that's showing love. But, you know what I'm saying? You got to be in a particular spirit, man. Unless, I mean, like, bring it up, man. The first verse. If you speak with the tongues of angels and have not charity, then it's all in vain, man. Yep. There's another scripture I thought about. Actually, let me read 3 again, so a lot of people go good. It says, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profited me nothing. Yeah, I don't think I got that.
Oh, God, yeah, I don't remember because that was that did hit hard.
I just thought about it.
Yeah,
I'm
God.
like, hold up.
Hey, that's the spirit, though.
That's the spirit.
Yeah,
You know
God.
what I'm saying? Because you could die for this thing, man. You could make your body a living sacrifice. And most times, like, yeah, I ain't want that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I already ate. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Hey, that's the spirit too because that's the refining process. So you can actually go, because we're going through the fire. I will bring the third part through the fire, you know. So you can actually be going through the fire, being refined, but you know, ultimately, you know, you gave your body to be burned, but still you ain't had that charity. So you wasn't a part of that third part that got brought through the fire.
That's cold, man. You got refined. Ultimately, you were fool's gold. You was a real gold, man.
Fugazi.
Yeah. Back in verse 7, it says, beareth all things, You know, talking about charity, man. The brotherly love, man. It says, believe in all things, hope in all things.
Well, they said believe in all things, man. Like what, man? That anybody can make it, man. Anybody can make it. Even Kanye West, man.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking bugged the hell out, man. You know? But guess what? He can make it. He still got a chance, man. And them nukes ain't got seen off yet. You know? We still prophesizing right now. You know?
Yep.
Stephen A. Smith. Like I was telling you, bro, I can't stand that guy, man. You know? I can't stand that guy, man. You know? Like, bro, I'll wring his fucking neck. You know, but at the end of the day, he can make it, though.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I wish I came to Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying?
God, huh? God.
Did that video, you know what I'm saying?
God.
It says, endureth all things.
Endureth all things.
Charity never faileth.
Charity never fails, man. Charity, you always come on top of charity, man. You know?
But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail.
So, you know, you got brothers say it's all about prophecy. Which it is about prophecy, man. All right? We come out here to prophesy the downfall of America, man. All right? Why so? Because the kingdom of heaven is coming, man.
That's right.
That's why America's gonna fall. It ain't even about America. It's about the kingdom of heaven. You know, we taking America out of here so the kingdom of heaven can be established, man. That's why America's gonna fall. That's why we prophesize against this place. So Yahushua Mashiach's kingdom can be established, man. You know? Yeah, it's prophecy that the so-called white man going into slavery, man. All right? Where's that supposed to be anyway? It's supposed to be in slavery.
Yep. So if you're looking at it right now, the so-called white man going into slavery, that's the prophecy. We know what's coming to pass. But if you look at it right now, I mean, that prophecy failed, huh?
God, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Really? God, bro. You got these fucking stupid-ass Edomites riding around with damn mopeds and bicycles, looking at us like we crazy, when your ass lepers. You know?
Yeah. God.
You want to talk about prophecy? Yeah, prophecy gonna happen. America gonna be destroyed by ICBM nuclear missiles.
That's right.
All right? The so-called white man is taking his monkey ass into slavery where it belongs. All right? And all these heathen, they're going to be in subjection to the children of Israel. All right? But guess what? That's all part of the kingdom of heaven. You know? Which we're trying to get our people to get to without going through death by pain, man.
God. Yep. Yep. How do we build the kingdom now? Yep. We're talking about prophecy. All right, so how do we build? How do we get there?
It's in Revelation 21, the tabernacle of Yahweh Shemal Shah with men. The kingdom of Yahweh Shemal Shah is going to start with the elect, man. All right? It ain't nobody else got to do with the kingdom of heaven, man. It's going to start from Yahweh Shah, the 12 apostles, and the elect, man. That's it, man. And the 1/3. That's how the kingdom of heaven is going to be established, man. All right?
Yep.
So that's what we focus on. We focus on the kingdom of heaven being established, man.
Yep. The fact of the matter is, all right, there's 2/3 out here doing what we're doing. There's 2/3 of our people who are going into prophecies, man. You know? I'm just bringing it up. There's 2/3 of our people who are doing the same thing we're doing. We're going into prophecies. You know what I'm saying? They're condemning, all right, the nations, all right, letting them know the judgment that's coming to Babylon, all right? They're condemning the 2/3, and they are the 2/3, you know? No, we're just speaking according to scriptures. I mean, if they don't have that charity, then all that is just in vain.
Bro, we could be 2/3.
Yep.
We could very well be 2/3, man. You know? We don't want to be 2/3.
Yep.
Okay?
Right.
We know what's coming to 2/3, man. Do you know what Yahweh Shemal Shah finna do to 2/3, man?
Right.
He said, I've appointed over them 4 kinds. And ain't none of them 4 kinds that he's appointed pretty, you know?
Nope. So hey, this is where charity comes in.
Nah.
It says charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
Yeah, God, bro. Why? Because it said they should teach no more every man his neighbor in the kingdom of heaven. You know? That's the new covenant, man. Knowledge ain't gonna be nothing. Knowledge is gonna be within your heart, man. You gonna get the heart of flesh, you know?
Yep.
You gonna get the heart of flesh. So knowledge ain't gonna be nothing no more. That's why I say in Ecclesiastes 9 and 10, it says, for whatsoever thou do it with all thy might, because there is no knowledge nor device in the grave whither thou goest. You know?
Yep.
So it ain't about no knowledge gonna vanish away. What's not gonna vanish away? Charity. Why? Because the kingdom of heaven gonna be all about charity, man. You know? There ain't gonna be no evil eye amongst our brethren. Ain't gonna be no questions about this and that. All right? And ain't gonna be nothing but love. All right? Which it ain't, we know it ain't nothing all about love right now, you know, but it's about love amongst the elect. This is what separates us from the world.
Right.
You know?
Right. The body of Mashiach.
God, bro. They don't have natural affection within this world, man.
God.
Those who exhibit qualities of Yahushua Mashiach, they got natural affection amongst those who could be of that body, you know?
Yep.
You don't just treat them any type of way, man.
Right. Like a literal body. Your body, you know? Like, how does it function if your heart don't like your brain? You know what I'm saying? If your arm don't like your foot,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't fuck with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? How's it gonna function? You know what I'm saying? Yep. It don't work like that, man. Charity is that bond of perfectness, man, of that body, which is Yahushua. So, I mean, that perfect body is only gonna function with that charity, man. So if you ain't got that charity, then you ain't in that body, period, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I just got a quick.
Okay.
This in Sirach, just back to what you just said. It's Sirach, chapter 14, verse 5. It says, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods."
God, you know, like they say in the world, a dysfunctional family. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got family members. You know, everyone. I mean, anyone who out here probably got a family member or probably knows, you know, oh yeah, my mom ain't talking to grandma right now. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like ultimately in this body of Mashiach, ain't none of that. Once it's, I mean, in the glorified state, that spirit, that charity of perfectness, that bond of perfectness, all right? Hey man, that's how this thing is gonna, that's how the saints gonna take the kingdom, man.
Yep.
You know? That's ultimately how this kingdom is gonna be translated from one people to the other, man. You know? Through that. Through the body of Mashiach in its perfectness, man.
That made me think of Sirach 25. It says there be three things that Yahweh Shemashah is beautified in, man. But when they talk about the unity of a wife and her husband and the unity of brethren. So that's literally how the king, the saints are gonna possess the kingdom, you know. And that's literally proving what we just said. That's what the kingdom of heaven is gonna be based upon, charity. Because that's what Yahweh Shemashah is beautified in, you know.
Right. If any brothers, you know, watch Dragon Ball Z, like, you know, like they got like a big time villain. I forget the exact time, but when
Cell.
Well, Cell, yeah, but it was one time when Goku came to Vegeta to fuse with him. You know, Vegeta, he don't like doing that shit.
Yeah, God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but in order to take down the villain, they was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead. I know in the movie Broly, I guess they probably did it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? In order to really link up, man, the brothers got to link up together to be able to actually get this
really
thing
take
done.
this shit down. Yeah, God.
Yeah,
God. Yep. Well, let me read a little bit more on it. You got a little bit more meat on this. Verse 5, it says, it's like verse 6, there is none worse than he that envieth himself. And this is a recompense of his wickedness. So that's a payback for your own wickedness that you was doing, man. You know? Which really gonna be a horrible judgment to you, man. You know? That's why you like that. Because ultimately, Yahweh Shemashah set you up for the okie doke, man. He get ready to kill you, man.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, that's the okie doke. Because ultimately, it was in 1 John 3, where it talks about he that hated his brother is a murderer. If you hate your brother, you know what I'm saying? Which ultimately, that's against the law. But if you hate your brother, you're a murderer. And, hey, man, that's one of the commandments. You can't be a murderer, you know? He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like the brother's saying, that's that trick bag. You know what I'm saying? If you hate your brother, ultimately, you're counted as a murderer, and that's it for you.
Yep.
So, and your brother is any Israelite, man. So if you hate your brother, no matter who he is, You know what I'm saying? So there's that.
Right, you can't change who your brother is. You know what I'm saying? You be like, oh, man, this nigga not my brother no more. Y'all the same bloodline, asshole.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You be like, oh, this not my brother. That's still your brother. Yeah, bro, it don't matter if you don't like him or not. Y'all still got the same blood. That's still your brother. You can't make him not your brother no more because you say he's not your brother.
Right. Is our father both Jacob? All right, so we brothers.
Exactly. Point blank period. It says, verse 7, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last he will declare his wickedness. You know? And then we read it in 1 Corinthians 9 about, woe to me if I do this thing not willingly, man. You know? And in the end, you're going to declare your wickedness. Why? Because you're going to be made a public example out here, man. You know?
Yep.
It says, verse 8, the envious man have a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. It says, the envious man have a wicked eye. And he turneth away his face and despiseth men. You know? So you that's what a wicked man do. You know? Which an envious man do, which is said, charity don't envy you. God. Charity don't envy you. You know? Verse 9, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. Oh, shit. You worried about the wicked, you know? So you worried about the wicked so much on how they gonna be punished that your ass gonna become rotten in your bones, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're not satisfied with your portion, you know? Like a wicked man is not satisfied with his portion, which we read in Matthew 20, you know? Wasn't satisfied with the penny. I need more, you know? That's, like I told you, that's wickedness, you know?
Yep.
Verse 10, a wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. You know, which a niggard, that goes into being stingy, man. You know, you don't want to give nobody nothing, man. That's niggard shit, man. That's how you really are a nigger, you know? Verse 11, my son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself and give the Lord his due offering. You know? Let's read down a little bit more. Remember that death will not be long in coming, and that the covenant of the grave is not showed unto thee. So you don't know who's gonna die and who not, you know? And remember, death, bro, you hasten for death to come. Don't worry, that's coming fast. Don't worry about that, you know?
Right. Yeah. It surely comes.
God.
Hey.
It will not tarry.
God.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, we good.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Y'all okay?
Okay.
No worries. No worries.
Okay.
Oh, it's a lot. My fault.
Yeah, you good.
God. Verse 13. Do good unto thy friend before thou die, and according to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give unto him. Hold on. Let me break this down. It's cold. It says, do good unto thy friend before thou die, and according to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give to him.
Come on, man. No, and that word friend, we know that's synonymous with the brother. You know? So you know what I'm saying? If you can help your brother, all right, any Israelite, you know, I mean, you know, do it. You know, with measure, of course, according to the law, you ain't gonna help him suffer sin. You ain't gonna help him buy a bag of weed or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you can help him in the sense of do something that's edifying to him, then why not? You know, why you gotta throw curses on him? Damn. You know what I'm saying?
Why you gotta hold back?
Pray for him, man.
Or why you gotta hold back knowledge from him?
Hold back knowledge, man. Yeah.
It said according to thy ability, do for him, man.
Yep.
So as freely as thou been given, freely as thou hast received, freely give. You know it? Oh, let me read this last one. Now, this is oh man, bro. I'm gonna start going into this. This verse 14. Defraud not thyself of the good day, and let not the part of a good desire overpass thee. So, bro, you don't supposed to let a good desire for someone overpass you, man. You don't supposed to do that, man. You know? And you don't supposed to defraud yourself of a good day, man. You know? which the good day is going to be ultimately when the kingdom of heaven is established, man. Which we went into how the kingdom of heaven is going to be, it's going to be complete charity. And the kingdom of heaven is within us. So those who have the kingdom of heaven within them, they're going to be exhibiting that amongst those who could be a part of the kingdom of heaven, you know? Which we don't know who they are, you know? Because it says that you don't have no information on who the grave got coming to it. So you don't know that, you know? Yeah, that was ice cold. Scripture.
Back in 1 Corinthians 13 and verse 9, it says, "For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But then that which is perfect is come." It says, "Then that which is part shall be done away."
So you think it's all about knowledge, bro? You don't even know everything. It's all about knowledge. Here it is. You don't even know it all. You want to be a know-it-all, but you don't know it all. That's crazy, man.
Right. Verse 11. "When I was a child, I spake as a child."
See, this wasn't talking when Apostle Paul was a literal child. But you can apply that to that. But you was a child when you was what? You was in that childish ass mind state, which was being a nigga in the world.
Right.
You know, being a nigger. You know, just thinking about your own damn self. Because what was this whole charity chapter talking about? You know? It's the spirit.
God. It says, "When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things."
And how do you become a man? By cutting off, if your hand offend, be cutting it off. You know what I'm saying? That's how you become a man, man. By starting to, man, look, man, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to just do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes you a man, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, you know, me, I don't be wanting to have to wake up every morning and, you know, watch these kids, but look, man, I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? What, I'm going to just leave them? You know?
It says, verse 12.
Look, I don't want to go to work every day at a damn smoothie shop. You know what I'm saying? But I do it. You know?
It says, "For now, we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known."
Nah, bro. So then shall you know also as you are known. You know, then you'll see how Yahweh Shemel shall see it. Right now we don't see how Yahweh Shemel shall see it, man. We only see through a glass darkly, man. We can just guess and estimate. You know?
Play by ear.
God, nah.
Verse 13. This is a hit right here. It says, "And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity." That's cold, man. Because we know how important faith is, man. We know it. I mean, Ephesians 6, you know, having that faith, man, above all faith. You know, this right here, above, when it comes to these three, faith, hope, and charity, hey, charity is just that guy. You know what I'm saying?
So like, and we was going into that earlier, all we got is hope. That's all we got.
Prisons up, right?
So, bro, if all we got is hope and charity is more than that, damn.
Come on, man. Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. So that's, whew.
Yeah, that's great, man. I spent the double.
Hey, so yeah, with that, we want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who were well. Peace and salutations to all the sincere Akim. Enduring in the faith, keep praying, keep studying, keep fasting. We almost out of here. Shalom.
Shalom. DTA, Abad the Ball.
Abad the ball, DTA.